Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record. Off the record. Yeah, we keep it real. No filter shit, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on. We talk that talk in our own way. Off the record. Minion the God, let's go. Foxy 2 Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard. Busy with the facts, she never miss. Nah. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a seat, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy. Record.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I didn't even put us up on the screen. I was enjoying the little intro song. How y'all doing? Okay, it's off the record. Y'all know what it is. You got your boy Minion with opinion, aka Minion the God. And we also have my illustrious co-host. I said what the bloop I said. What's good?
Hey, everybody. Everything's good. And welcome to the show. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. We have a treat for you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Awesome. I'm excited for this show because we are celebrating tonight, guys. It's not a real celebration because I know no real change is going to take place, but it's still a celebration nonetheless. Did you need to take some time out so we could shout our fellow viewers out?
Sure. Oh. And a celebration it is for us, at least. We have Vicky Vale in the house. Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Welcome.
And we also have Leo Lady. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. Welcome.
Hey.
Hope you enjoy the show. And that's all I see so far. And we got a lot of people in the bushes. So hello to you, bushes.
Welcome
to the
bushes?
show. Yeah, welcome to the show. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button.
All right. Well, guys, y'all know what it is. This is going to be a real good show because, our girl Kristi Noem has, another one's bit the dust. All right, guys. So
it took long enough. It took them long enough for her to bite the dust.
I know. I mean, she kind of did it on herself. I think they wanted to keep her, but she didn't give them no other choice.
Yeah. She didn't do the performance right when she had her hearings.
Yeah. She missed she didn't understand the assignment.
I don't think she did. Yeah.
But before we get into all of the chaos with Kristi Noem, y'all hit the like button if y'all haven't done so already. And also subscribe to our channels. You have I Said What I Said, Foxy 2, Roxy 3. She's still under the weather, so y'all make sure y'all keep her in y'all prayers and make sure that we pray for a speedy recovery for our third member.
Yeah.
And of course, you have the Off the Record channel. So y'all hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. All right. And we're going to start off with what? The Texas race with Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico. What do you think about this, this little race?
Well, at first I was kind of conflicted. I thought that Jasmine was going to win, but she didn't really run an effective campaign, in my opinion. From what I understand, she didn't have a campaign manager, and that's like trying to coach a football team without a coach. You have to have a campaign manager. You have to have a good ground game, and you can't just use social media to try to win in an important seat like the Senate. Now, if you were just trying to go to the House of Representatives, that's a little bit different because it's they possibly could have worked, but I don't see you running any race without a campaign manager. You have to have that in order to get the word out. And so they had a debacle in Dallas where a lot of people were confused about the precincts. Well, in my opinion, that's Jasmine Crockett's job to let them know when you do early voting, you can vote any place. But if you wait till the day of voting, you are assigned a certain precinct and you have to go to your assigned precinct in order to vote. And I don't think she conveyed that to her people that was going to vote for her. I don't think she conveyed that to the voters at all. And so she did get an injunction with a judge, a Dallas judge, to extend the voting hours. However, the Supreme Court of Texas shot that down. So some of the votes wasn't counted. But even with the votes that wasn't counted, it was only 2,000. So she actually lost still fair and square, even though they had some voter suppression going on, in right. Dallas, because, this is just a primary. So why do you have to go to a precinct? Normally you can just, even on the day of voting, if the Republicans would have voted it down, then they could have been, people still should have been able to go in place, that's close to them to go vote. So that's what the mix up was. So, and I'm sad that she didn't win, but hey, Tallarico is still a great candidate also.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think she was very appealing to the white demographic, the white voter demographic. And, it's one thing to be pro-Black people, but, you don't want to kind of demonize the other voter base that, you're going to also need to get the seat. So I think that she did a good job alienating a lot of people because of her rhetoric. Granted, we need all the pro-Black rhetoric we can get, but at the same time, we shouldn't have pro-Black rhetoric at the expense of another race. We shouldn't have to down talk, another race just to raise up the concerns of our community. And I think that that's something that she probably fell victim to. But let's look at, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, you can't, if you're trying to be over people, you have to be over all the people, not just your race of people. And so that could have possibly been the mistake that she made. You have to try to appeal to everyone.
Yeah. Well, let's look at this clip.
For years and years, Texas has been the white whale for the Democratic Party, and they have some extra hope after the results on Tuesday. For one thing, a ton of Democratic primary voters turned out, which is a potential sign of enthusiasm. And for another, they picked a candidate in James Tallarico, a candidate who was explicitly saying he was going to reach out to moderate voters, independent voters, bring people together.
Yeah.
The only way we're going to save this American experiment is if we can reach out to people who aren't with us yet.
And contrast that with a Democratic candidate who said she was going to be a fighter, that she was going to take on the Republican Party relentlessly.
Honestly, as women are dying, we need answers.
And so this race is pretty important, partly because it's first and partly because it's a tone setter. What kind of party do voters want as they begin to look beyond the Trump era? Tallarico won the primary, and he did so really all across the state, running up margins in some rural areas and especially in his hometown of Austin, Travis County, where he won 76% of the vote. What we're seeing is a pretty broad coalition for James Tallarico. He appears to have done better in counties dominated by white voters and stronger in counties with the largest Hispanic populations. While Jasmine Crockett has done particularly well in areas with more black voters. Texas is big and it's an expensive state. In fact,
see, that's exactly what I was saying. She didn't appeal to the whole, the totality of the voter base that makes up Texas. So,
but at the end of the day, that's not impressive to me. With 76% of the vote in Austin? That's his hometown. He should have had like 80 or 90%.
You're right. No, I definitely know that Jasmine, she probably would have won had she just appealed to the white voter. That's it.
And Hispanic, more Hispanic
right.
vote too, because a lot of Hispanics voted for Tallarico as well, because a lot of Hispanics are Christian, they're Catholic, and they're heavily into church, and that's what Tallarico pushes. He makes sure he pushes his faith into the race.
Yes, and a lot of people, especially on the right, are these, Christian nationalists. So of course, Christian values is always going to bring, the voters.
Exactly.
You want to speak to some of the people up in the chat? Looks like they're well, I guess we can speak after we watch this clip. It's halfway finished.
Okay.
This primary has shattered records. It is the most expensive primary in American history for Senate between the two parties. Now, most of that spending actually has happened in the Republican primary, where Senator John Cornyn, a 20-year incumbent, was running for re-election and facing a challenge from two other Republicans, including Ken Paxton, the right-wing Attorney General of the state. Paxton's been a favorite of the base of the Republican Party, but he's faced scandal after scandal over the years. Now, when you start looking at a county-by-county level of the results in the Republican primary, what you see is John Cornyn performing stronger in some of the big cities in Texas, and Ken Paxton running up the score in the more rural areas of the state. Cornyn and Paxton finished in the top two, forcing a runoff election in May. Beyond just the Senate race, the results on Tuesday in Republican primaries showed the enduring power of Donald Trump's endorsement in Republican politics. The one Republican in the Texas congressional delegation that he didn't endorse, Dan Crenshaw, was defeated. I spoke to John Cornyn over the weekend, and he sounded like he was looking forward to this race to really take off the gloves and take the fight to Ken Paxton. This could get extremely ugly, and this fight is something that Democrats are excited about. If these two Republicans bruise each other up over the next 3 months, it gives the party a head start and a better chance to compete in November.
All right. Well, that lets us know. Well, I would say this. One thing that I did notice is that the Democratic turnout for voters was higher than the Republican turnout. So that is probably a good sign for Democrats. But the fact that the Republican that was already the incumbent did not get all the votes, and it was pretty evenly distributed, is a pretty tall. And they didn't even get 50%. It's pretty telling for the Republican Party and the direction that Texas is going in. What do you think?
Well, they had a third candidate that took 13% of the vote.
The black guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if they didn't have that other candidate, the votes could have been spread out a little bit more even. But it seems like the Republicans are having like a civil war within their party. So it's really MAGA versus the regular conservative. Well, let me say MAGA versus light MAGA, because in my opinion, most Republicans are MAGA, whether they like MAGA or or hard MAGA. They still MAGA because they vote with Trump with all of his policies, and they vote 100% most of the time, or 95. They're in the high 90s to 100% of voting and giving him whatever he wants instead of being a separate body as far as the Congress go. The House and the Senate, and so.
Right.
So if you're going to vote for all his policies, so I have to call you MAGA or either MAGA light, okay?
Adjacent.
MAGA adjacent. That's correct. And so he's absolutely right. I'm ready to see this fight with John Cornyn and Ken Paxton. Meanwhile, Tallarico is going to be running up the numbers and still trying to get more voters. And keep in mind, though, Tallarico was a Republican. So
He
I don't.
was?
Yes, in the House, in the Texas
Wow.
House. Yes. And so he switched over to be a Democrat because he got mad at Abbott. And so I just don't know. And he got mad at him about the school vouchers. So he switched parties in order.
I was just about to say, so do you think that means that this could, when he takes, he can't run outside of being a Democrat, can he? Or can
Well,
he?
I mean, I look at John Fetterman, I look at Kristen Sinema, and I look at Joe Manchin. So I hope we're not getting another one of those type candidates that's gonna not go with all of the Democratic policies. Now, I don't expect him to be a progressive, but I do expect him to vote with his party. So that's the one thing that I'm concerned about with him being in the Senate. With Jasmine Crockett, I know she would have been a progressive Democrat. And
Right.
someone in our chat said that Texas just doesn't like a loudmouth woman, and that's the reason why come they didn't, vote her for the
I don't
nominee.
even think that that's the case because I think that Texas is full of fighters.
Yeah,
Like I said, I think that the issue is that she was kind of standoffish and it was a little divisive when it came to the white people rhetoric, and I think that's what really kind of
I didn't
rubbed
see it
some
that
people
way
the
because
wrong way.
I didn't see it that way. I saw her fighting for everyone. Now, was she a little loud? Yes, but that's just who she is. That's how she do her thing. She's in these congressional hearings, and she called people out, and she really is a fighter in my opinion. And I'd rather have her type of fight than to have a nice fight that I feel like Tallarico is going to give them
Don't
in
no
office.
question. Look, you're not getting no disagreement with me because I'm in 100% agreement with you. I think that she would have definitely been a better candidate, but I do think that when it comes to, um, campaigning and running for office, you have to give off a inclusive. You know,
Yeah,
you
you have to
just
include
got to
everyone.
include everybody, and it wasn't that way with her. And I think
Mhm.
a lot of white people felt a little turned off, and they felt like maybe she was even against them. So I get it, I think that she would have been a better candidate, hands down, but I don't think her campaign strategy worked. And like you said, it could be because she didn't have a campaign manager.
Well, can you give me an example of what you're talking about as far as her being divisive, divisive
So
to
one of
white
her
people?
Yeah, one of her normal talking points is that the right now the administration is filled with white racist men who want to remove DEI. They want to do everything to tear down black people, which is true. I mean, no one's saying that that's not the case, but at the same time, I think people also know that there are two innocent white Americans that were kind of unalived in the middle of the streets. We have a war with Iran where a lot of soldiers are going to go to fight for this war and lose their lives for this war. And we're not going to benefit from it. And those soldiers that are going out there aren't going to necessarily just be black people, right? They're going to be all types of races. So I just think that her rhetoric is more for trying to be inclusive to the black community. Even if you look at her campaign, like when she made her stops, most of the people that were at those rallies were African American. And I don't think that she put in enough meaningful effort to include the other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
when I
wish
saw her on the
she did
campaign, she
though.
was saying that she was for everyone. So, um, see, my problem is, what's wrong with speaking the truth? Because nothing she said was not true. So,
I didn't say that
why?
there was anything wrong with it, but
But I just don't feel like that they should, people should take offense to the truth, and how she bring it is just how she bring it, because we all say we want to fight her.
the thing about it is we can say, we don't see anything wrong with it, and that's fine and okay. But in politics and when you're campaigning, if other people take offense to it, you can't say, well, y'all shouldn't take offense. They did, and they voted because in their offensive, you know what I'm saying? So you just have to
Yeah.
be mindful of the voter base. If you want to go in for office, you can't limit your pool, your base. You gotta try to expand it to everybody.
Well,
And
I feel like we're gonna have to agree to disagree. We're gonna have to disagree to agree, or agree to
agree
disagree
to
on that.
disagree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agree to
yeah.
disagree, because I didn't see it that way. But one thing I did notice, though, she didn't have a lot of signs everywhere. You know, I had people to kind of scare the neighborhoods all around Texas, because I have family all around Texas, right? And a
Hmm.
lot of people were saying, especially in the Dallas area, they didn't see a lot of Crockett signs. And yeah, people knew who she was, but a lot of
And let me
times,
clarify, because
you have to have that visual to put it in your mind, because everybody else had signs, so she should have had more signs out too.
she also should have did pull the stunt, like the what show did the man go on? What's his name? The one that's getting
Stephen
canceled.
Colbert,
Yeah,
Stephen Colbert.
yeah.
She did go on Stephen Colbert.
I know, but she didn't have no debacle the way that Tallarico had, where they didn't even let him air the show on the on air. He had to do it on YouTube.
Well,
So,
and he wasn't even well known when that happened, right? And
but
so
that got him a
that
little,
kind of put him on the map.
exactly,
But I think it was a
exactly.
concerted effort with everybody that didn't
Right,
want her,
right.
because I feel like Colbert was for Tallarico anyway. It was a lot of people that was for Tallarico. They even went to the they even kind of like gave fake poll numbers to make us feel like Jasmine was, ahead of what
Losing.
have you. So
Oh, ahead.
yeah.
Well, but
So
this is my thing though. Also, you got to think that if you're actually going to be shifting other people from another side, right? Like the MAGA people, these
mhm.
people, that's kind of drastic going to Jasmine Crockett. Tallarico is a nice happy medium. He a
Mhm.
white Christian valued male who just happens to be a Democrat, and
Well,
it's
well,
easier
two
for them to
things you
stomach
said that
that.
got him the nomination: white and Christian. And, well, I mean, well,
Exactly.
three things: white, Christian, male, and I'm
Right.
sorry, but it's a little misogyny in here also.
It
Okay.
is. It
And
is.
so these voters want white men in office. They don't want women, no matter what color they are.
I'm not going to dispute you there. And I'm going to say that if you do decide as a woman to step into the race, you have to know the environment that you're going into, and you have to play the game accordingly. I get it. Everybody does. I mean, that's what Jasmine built her brand off of, was being a fighter, and people like that. She did get a lot of votes just from being who she is. So just imagine if she would have just took a little bit more effort into trying to also
Yeah.
appeal to the other side.
Yeah, and she needed a little bit more money, because everybody had more money than she had also. So, but
Right.
hey, it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Right. Right.
And maybe she'll run for office on, another day.
Right. But we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving, guys. Y'all let us know what y'all think about the Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico debacle. Do you think it was rigged in one person's favor? Do you think it was fair and square? Do you think that she did a good job, but the best person won?
Yeah, I think both did a great job. They did bring out over 1 million voters in Texas for Democrats, and that's astounding, because we haven't had those numbers since 2008. So, hey, kudos to the Democrats for bringing the Democrats out.
Hell yeah, that's right. And y'all hit the like button for the Democrats showing up and showing out in Texas. All right, so the next thing we're gonna talk about, guys, is there's so much going on, but we can't forget about the Bill and Hillary Clinton deposition, because they did some crazy. There was a lot of highlights that a lot of people missed and aren't talking about. So we're gonna talk about it in this next clip. So did you want to shout anybody out before we get into this clip?
Yeah, a lot of people came in. Let me try to go back up to the chat.
Okay.
Because we did have a lot of people come in. And welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you just joining us, like he said, don't forget to hit the like button. Hello to you, better black women. Thank you for being here. Yoda Green Water is here. Thank you for being here. 315 Majestic is here. Me, Darlene, is here. Thank you for being here. We have Thrive and Glow with Joe in the house. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We have, what is that? August. So I'm gonna just say August is here. Thank you for being here. And y'all forgive me if I can't pronounce your name correctly. We got Robbie here. Thank you for being in the house tonight. We have Lynn Moppin in. We have Krishna Creations in. Thank you for being here tonight. And we have Aaron Williams here. Thank you for being here. We have Bio Chick Crick. And hello to you, Flabba Haba.
All right.
Yeah, these names are really, really hard to say on some of them. We got Boomerang in the house. Thank you for being here tonight. So welcome in, everybody, and thank everybody for being here. And like I said, if you're in the bushes and you're liking the show, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channels. So we'll go ahead and get started with Bill and Hillary and Child and their deposition.
Video has been released of former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton giving their testimony to the House Oversight Committee about the relationship and interactions with the disgraced billionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. These are the 6 wildest moments from the depositions. Number 6, Bill reveals background on viral hot tub photo.
So do you recall the details of this photo, recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken.
Okay, and for those who can't see it.
You know what's funny? Bill's voice, that old man, no, I don't ever think. Oh, no, forever. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This your boy Bill. How you doing, everybody? So
leave Bill alone. Bill's still the man for me. I love the Clintons, and so a lot of people don't like the Clintons, but those are, hey, those my peeps. So Bill getting old, and it is what it is. He's always had that raspy voice.
But he still keep it cool, though.
He's still cool, though.
He's still cool.
It's a photo of you in a hot tub. There's a person next to you here. Do you remember where it was taken? Where was it taken?
I'm almost sure that this taken, I think there's an adjacent photograph, which you probably have, that if people saw it, they would feel that someone was trying to con them showing this picture. But anyway, this picture was taken in Brunei. Anyway, he wanted, when he knew I was coming, and he said he wanted to help me with my AIDS initiative, and he invited me to stay there. And he said, I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the pool. So I
hope you will use the pool.
And then I got out and went to bed, exhausted.
Well,
he's asking you in the pool area.
This photo.
I bet you did go to bed exhausted.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Bill said he don't understand the question.
Pool area, whether
I don't know who that is.
You don't know.
So you don't know.
No, but you look, man. You're supposed to be his legal counsel. You don't need to clarify nothing. If they don't ask to clarify, you don't clarify nothing. What you doing?
But she got to help Bill out because Bill seemed like, he's a little lucent right now. So he seems like he need a little help to me.
Look, if people accept Donald Trump and his crazy loony explanations on the stuff he do
with his statements and can't complete a full sentence.
Incoherent, right? Exactly. Then let this man just give them whatever he say and let that be that.
No, and then there were other people in the pool.
Okay, so do you remember were they under 18? Would you know? No.
Were they part of your traveling party? He's asking you.
Look, ma'am, stop clarifying anything.
Yes, they were. I think.
I guess she knew that they was a part of it, and he won't. She ain't want him to perjure himself.
I also believe that there was a Secret Service agent there at the other end of the pool.
And then I have to ask this: did you engage in a sexual
service agent?
Number 5, Hillary gets questioned on wacky Pizzagate conspiracy.
Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or?
First off, the unbotheredness that she just has right now, like, what? You're wasting my time. Just go ahead and ask what the hell you gotta ask so I can get the hell up on.
Hillary is a pro. Remember Benghazi? Remember the House? They questioned Hillary Clinton for 2 or 3 days about Benghazi, if not a whole week about it. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so she know how this go.
Yeah, she know how this go. And at the end of the day, why are you even questioning Hillary Clinton? She wasn't on the island.
Right.
She's not in the files.
Right.
They mentioned her, on the
How
email.
The hell is she getting a disposition?
But why come Melania and Trump is not is not being questioned? That's the question I have for the day. And put us on the side there.
Put us on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
There you go.
Or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry.
You're asking her about whether she's reviewed emails in the Epstein files, which relate to the wacky Pizzagate scandal.
You could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
The wacky.
Your question is about
she said you characterize it however you want.
Any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate?
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. I don't follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online. I regret that anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything that might have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
Number 4, Bill sticks up for President Trump.
She thinks it's totally bogus.
The president never, this is 20-something.
She didn't say for sure it is.
Never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. He just said we were friends, and then we had a falling out over a land deal.
Do you recall whether President Trump elaborated at all on the great times that he had with Jeffrey Epstein?
No, and I took, at the time, I didn't put any, sexual spin on it.
And as far as you recall, President Trump characterized the nature of the ending of their friendship as being solely due to the real estate bidding.
That's what he said.
Number 3, Hillary explodes at Nancy Mace during questions.
Well, I mean, that kind of bode well for Trump.
They covering up for each other.
Yeah.
It's what I feel like. I love Bill, but Bill is covering up the truth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he already know they probably have dirt on each other, allegedly. And they're going to cover for each other like they've been covering for each other all these years. because they both probably have some dirt on each other. And y'all got Hillary messed up because Hillary is standing by her man. She stood by her man when Monica Lewinsky came out. Okay. And she gonna stand by her man now.
A few underage females alleging that allegations
that happened over 30 or 40 years ago. So
ain't about to stop no show.
Yeah, she not going nowhere.
She ain't going nowhere.
On Howard Lutnick.
And then how do you know Howard Lutnick?
I know Howard Lutnick because when I was senator on 9/11, the firm he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnick missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping his child off to kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're going to
This was what I spent my time doing.
I spent trying to look out for other survivors.
And I was taking care of the people who lost 3,000 lives.
And now you're being
at World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today.
You asked me.
I have Howard Epstein survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did not.
Howard Lutnick was
If you have an email with me asking Jeffrey Epstein
I have
for
an
money.
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to Jeffrey Epstein and his people to
I
raise
don't-
money.
I
for
didn't
you.
send it to Hillary.
Intimate event for you at his offices at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're going to sit
if
here
you-
today
if you would let me finish.
obfuscate and say to this committee, you didn't try to get money
Obfuscate.
from Jeffrey
I
Epstein
didn't.
when
I
there was an
didn't.
intimate event in an email that Howard Lutnick emailed to Epstein's people and Epstein to get him to come to your intimate event at Cantor Fitzgerald, a very small event. And so I'm not going to put it. You want to yell at me, that's fine, but I'll yell right back.
Well,
okay? I am looking out for
it's
survivors.
very-
I'm doing
look-
the job that you would not do and refuse to do as Secretary of State. Thank you. And I yield back to
No,
Congresswoman.
I'm going to finish answering the question. which I have a
She
right
said,
to
no,
do.
you ain't yielding nothing.
Number 2, Bill says he hasn't sent an email since the Kosovo War.
So you did not email. How often do you send emails? Or did you send emails?
Have you ever sent an email, Mr. President?
I sent one email to John Glenn, Senator John Glenn, when he was in space at age 77. And I sent an email to the men and women aboard a U.S. ship in the Adriatic during the Kosovo War.
Have you sent any other emails, Mr. President? He's asking.
Since then, I'm not sure I've sent one.
Okay.
And number 1, Hillary nearly storms off after photo leaks during the deposition.
Excuse me, can I interrupt? There are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you
I
please
know you
advise me
lying.
as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules?
What?
Particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing.
Look at Hillary, she
There are
happy.
Photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying. Can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would like
sakes.
to understand how that's permissible.
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
She should be
Yeah,
fired
well,
I
too.
would like to take a break at this
Yeah,
moment. and
I'm-
I'd like to
I'm
have a
done.
She
conversation
should be
for now.
fired.
Hillary said she done. Hell with y'all.
Right.
But
so-
they did. They broke their own rules. They put that, and they sent that picture out on social media, and they wanted to have this behind closed doors deposition, and then and they said nobody should be taking pictures. It should be private. And then Nancy Mace in the House of Congress, from the Congress representative from
Leaked the
South
photos,
Carolina.
right.
Yeah, she North Carolina. She leaked the photos. So Hillary had
Sorry,
every
piece of
right to
shit.
get up and say I'm done with this deposition, even though she was ready to leave anyway. Because and at the end of the day, they didn't need Hillary there. Hillary don't know anything, in my opinion.
Right, absolutely.
And whatever she knows, she's not finna incriminate her husband. I'm pretty sure she grilled the shit out of Bill.
I'm pretty sure they can get a lot more from Trump and Melania than they can get out
Right.
of Bill and Hillary.
And Bill acting like he's, Bill, he acting like his memory is jarred. And I don't know if his memory is jarred or if he's just not answering or what, but Bill ain't the old Bill that, that we're used to
Quick
seeing.
with it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like an Alzheimer's type of I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there, y'all. Don't listen to me. that man is fine. All right. Let's look at Trump and talking about somebody who may be decrepit and dementia ridden.
Right.
Let's talk about Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, in the words of iHip Radio, walking him like a dog and making him launch this war in Iran that isn't benefiting any of us Americans.
Right.
We ain't getting nothing out of this except for higher tax bills.
Right.
And higher gas prices.
All we're getting is a lot of money out of our pockets and a lot of lives that's going to be lost. That's what we're getting out this deal.
We can't even get a clear explanation as to why the damn war is taking place. So that's how much they give a fuck about us. But if Benjamin Netanyahu or whatever his name is, if he says jump, our supposed commander-in-chief says how high, even though with them cables he can't jump as high as but he will try his damnedest to jump as high as that man tells him to jump.
But Benjamin Netanyahu, he's been trying to start this war for the last 30 years for whatever reason.
I'm inclined to believe that since Benjamin has been trying to set this war up for 30 years, that he has a long list and a lot of information on these people that he has acquired over these 30 years. Because let me tell you something, Trump is doing any and everything to avoid the Trump Sting files to the point where we are going to war. And the only thing I can think of is Benjamin must have something on this man. He must know something about these Trump Sting files that none of us know.
So Ben got a few files at his house also?
Where Trump is
that would have been the files that was extracted or redacted?
Nah, he probably got more than just them files at his house, because at the end of the day, Trump is willing to take us all to war, something that he basically campaigned on the opposite, being the peace president, peacetime president.
And almost had a fit to get the peace prize, remember?
Right. But the Trump Sting files are so deep that, if he say, I got to go to war, then to cover this shit up, then that's what we'll do. And this is where we're at right now, guys. So let's look at this clip with Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. We'll talk about it on the other side.
All right, everybody, I just learned the truth about the United States going to war with Iran, and it is so much worse than we thought. Over the past few days, I've been connected with reliable sources who have been filling me in on the escalating tensions in the Middle East. It's finally gotten to a point where I can now fill you guys in on the behind-the-scenes reporting that we've been working on verifying and making sure it was accurate. This reporting not only lines up with statements made from Donald Trump, from Marco Rubio, from Mike Johnson, but this behind-the-scenes information makes the Trump administration look so incredibly incompetent, so weak, and so bad that it should turn every single American against the admin. They are lying to our faces, which is very clear, but we're also missing a huge part of the story that this administration will never tell you. So make sure you drop a like on this video to boost the message. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mocker feed if you appreciate the truth. And before we fully jump in, the breaking news that we got moments ago is that U.S. Central Command is now saying internally that this war against Iran is likely to last through September per Politico. So that's an extra 6 months. And if we're going 6 more months, it'll probably be 12 more months, maybe even 18 more months. These forever wars that we get roped into happen so quickly, and they're hard to get out of. It's easier to start a war, to decapitate a regime, than it is to pull troops out or to end this after we've been struck at, after we've had troops die. Donald Trump will continue to want to escalate and retaliate, and this will be a longer war than we thought. But the reality is, if we just back up for a second, the United States was not even the one who wanted to start this war. Israel pulled us into this, and we actually have proof of that. So Marco Rubio is the person who was the closest to telling the truth the other day when he accidentally said that Israel was the one who pulled us into this. The reporting that we have behind the scenes is that Netanyahu has obviously been wanting to do this for decades. He's been wanting to go to war with Iran for his entire adult life. He was just waiting for a president to come along who was stupid enough to do it. Now, Netanyahu has been waiting for the perfect day and came to Donald Trump and said, we're going to do this with or without you. If we do it without you, you're just going to get pulled in anyway. So you might as well act like you are supportive of us from day one. Donald Trump did not want to do this. Donald Trump did not want to strike Iran, but in order to save face, he lined up with Netanyahu and got roped into this. But it gets even worse. What Donald Trump wanted to do, according to the reporting, is exactly what happened in Venezuela, which is a decapitation strike that you then use to remove the leader with their number 2 or their number 3. So like the vice president or whoever else is in the regime. Now, in Venezuela, this sort of worked out. Maduro was captured and Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president, stepped into power. And the same regime is currently in place, so nothing really happened. But Donald Trump is able to declare victory on social media. So this is what Trump wanted to do. He wanted it to be Venezuela Part 2. But Netanyahu said no. We do not want to replace the Iranian supreme leader with his number 2. We want an entire regime change. Trump's administration did not want a regime change. J.D. Vance in particular did not want a regime change because that means it would last for months. Like the reporting that we have now, this is going to last for months. So then Donald Trump and his administration make a list of potential replacements for the Ayatollah. They have multiple replacements listed. Netanyahu decides that they should strike and kill all of those replacements while they're in one place, therefore directly undermining what Donald Trump was trying to do. This is why Trump came out and told Jonathan Karl that the United States accidentally killed multiple people in the attack. Listen, Jonathan Karl tweeted out on March 1st, quote, President Trump told me tonight that the U.S. had identified possible candidates to take over Iran, but they were killed in the initial attack. Quote, the attack was so successful, it knocked out most of the candidates, Trump said. It's not going to be anybody that we were thinking of because they are all dead. Second or third place is dead. So we knew that Israel pulled us into this war, but the new part is that Israel has been dictating every step of this policy, sideswiping Trump, and that Trump has been lying through his teeth by saying that they didn't mean to kill the leaders when it was actually Israel that did mean to kill the replacement leaders, therefore undermining the United States mission. Marco Rubio was the only one to accidentally admit this, and then Speaker Mike Johnson kind of admitted it, but then walked it back. It says, quote, Rubio's remarks were the first time a Trump official has explicitly acknowledged Israel as a driving force behind the wars. Quote, we knew there was going to be an Israeli action against Iran, said Marco Rubio. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces, said Marco.
And we all saw this this interview that Trump actually, he tried to correct it. He said, no. If anything, I was the one who forced Israel's hand so he could save face, but we all saw the interview.
Rubio, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched, we would suffer higher casualties. So what he's saying there is Israel pulled us into this war. I mean, he's saying it. He's admitting it. So all of this, when you combine it with this new framework, makes so much sense. And let me just point out, oil prices are currently surging. The stock market is currently tanking, which brings me to the final part of this. After Donald Trump got roped into this by Netanyahu, he quickly realized this is not Venezuela. Venezuela, as messy as it was, as stupid and illegal and unconstitutional as it was, Donald Trump got Maduro and got out relatively unscathed. We didn't see U.S. troops dying. We didn't see retaliatory strikes. The regime is still standing. It wasn't regime change. It was kind of just nothing. It was a nothing burger, honestly. He got the Nobel Peace Prize from Machado, at least. But with this one, it has turned into Donald Trump's worst nightmare. So right when he realized that Israel was yanking him down a path that he didn't want to go down, Trump tries to approach Iran for a ceasefire. But at that point, as we know, Iran was not willing to play ball. Essentially, Iran's framework is that 8 months ago, when they were struck by the United States, they think they came across as too weak by not retaliating forcefully. In the eyes of Iran, that opened up the eyes for the United States and Israel to strike more because they thought, hey, Iran's not going to do anything. What is Iran going to do? Like strike some empty fields over in Qatar? Who gives a shit? So Iran's new framework is that we have to inflict maximum damage on the United States. Of course, that's sickening. We don't want enemies inflicting damage on U.S. soldiers. It's awful. Nobody wants that. But that is the framework that Iran is approaching it with. Donald Trump is currently trapped in a corner between the Iranian regime and Netanyahu. Netanyahu is dragging him down to the depths of hell, likely the one committing these war crimes, taking out over 100 school children, 100 schoolgirls in Iran, and Donald Trump is now tanking in popularity because of it. We now have competing factions in Iran trying to gain power within this vacuum because Trump had no backup plan. So it's interesting. Throughout all of this, my repeated line has been Trump has no plan. Marco Rubio has no plan. They don't have any plan. And now we know that's true because Netanyahu was the one who essentially derailed it all and fucked everything up. Now, that's not me saying they had a good plan beforehand or that they were doing something smart beforehand. No, this was all incredibly dumb. But their soft plan to replace the Ayatollah and to just walk away clean was blown up literally by Netanyahu, and now they're being dragged into another forever war. The reporting is that we are spending $1 billion a day on this, of your money.
$1 billion?
And it's so painful, and this is what they spend it on. This is what they spend it on. The reports are that they are now asking for $50 billion more dollars, and we are now depleting our munitions and our resources on this war. I've said this over and over, but I'm going to be as blunt as possible. I would spend money. I would send money, more money, if we could just do this with Ukraine. If we could protect the Ukrainians, if we could protect the Palestinians, the people in Gaza, or stop the people who are doing settlements in the West Bank. There are so many other self-determination fights that we can enact, but instead we're getting pulled into another long forever war with our buddy Israel, and we're going to see what happens. If this framework helped you all, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe on the Adam Mockler feed for more breaking news. We have debates coming out. We have great content coming out. I'll see you all later, and peace out.
Wow. $1 billion per day. And shout out to Adam Mockler for allowing us to use this video. However, at the end of the day, you know, $1 billion per day, and we're talking about until September, and you can rest assured it's not going to end in September. I see years upon years, just like the Iraq war. And so far, Iran has struck 8 countries trying to hit our military bases. So that means you're including everybody in this war. Okay, I don't feel like everybody gonna just sit by and stand by and just allow you to, you know, attack their country, and they're not going to retaliate also. So in my opinion, we're looking at World War III allegedly because of this stupid war with Benjamin Netanyahu, however you say his damn name. And this was stupid for us to get into this. This had nothing to do with us. And Iran has had a dictator in their country for the last, 25, 30, 40 years. This guy's been in, you know, he's been reigning over their country. And it's not up to the United States to take a leader out. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people may not like our leader. So how would we feel if they want to come over here and take our leader out? Same thing I said when he did that to Venezuela. Even though those countries don't have the military that we have, but, you know, they could take the same attitude. And whether they uninstall our president or not, they still can do some damage to us.
And the crazy part about it is that you have Iranians in California and all across the United States that are out in the street, that went out in the street to celebrate this shit. But then, you know, you turn around, because let's be clear, the United States is in, we are allying, we are in alliance with Iran right now, and both together we are striking, with Israel, and both together we are striking Iran. But our Israel is actually striking kids, like schools, hospitals, you know, heavily populated civilian areas. And, you know, now those people who are celebrating, Tehran, I think is populated with 10 million residents, and they just experienced the most deadliest attack from Israel and probably America that killed hundreds of people. So
we're one. If Israel did it, then America did it, because remember, we're on the same side. So if they did it, it's just like we did it, because, you know,
so
we're
all those people
partners
dancing in the street, guess what? Your cousin or one of your family members may be dead right now because of this war. You know, and y'all celebrating.
Well, you gotta well, Trump says it's gonna be some casualties. That's just the way it is, and just the way it is when you have a war, and it shouldn't have to be. Meanwhile, you spending. I'm still stuck on this damn $1 billion a day spending on the war, but you can't give us health care.
Right.
You can't fund our schools.
You have to cut our. Oh. Wait, what is that?
Did that do something?
Oh no,
Okay.
no.
We good?
We good.
Okay.
Yeah, we've
But
been.
you gotta cut funding on our schools. You're cutting Medicaid. You're cutting Medicare. You're cutting food stamps for people. You're cutting Section 8 housing for people. You're cutting all type of benefits for everybody. Meanwhile, prices going up, oil is going up, and also the stock market is down. And we're causing this is causing every other country money. It's costing money to all the other countries.
Yeah,
also.
because that Strait of Hormuz or whatever, that little the little entry into the sea that they have, that Iran is running. Guess what? A lot of oil and trade goes through that little passageway.
Through that little canal. Yeah.
Through
You're
that little
absolutely
canal
right.
that they are closing down.
Yeah,
So,
and so that's
it's going
and that's
to
stopping
impact all different types of countries' economy.
Yeah, globally. And they didn't ask to be in this.
Just to avoid the Trumpstein files. In my humble opinion, if Trump did not want to go to war, Trump ran his campaign on being the peace president, no more ending all the forever wars. What other reason would he have? What does Netanyahu have over this man to make him completely abandon all of his campaign promises to his MAGA base?
I have another reason. I have another reason why.
What's the other reason?
To stop the immediate election, so that because he already know that it's going to be a bloodbath in the midterms. So if he can declare war like this, then he could possibly say that the elections can be stopped. He can stop the elections.
Call the elections off.
Yeah, call the elections off. So that's another reason why, in my opinion, and allegedly, that's why he want to do. But that's why he want to do this. He want to stop those fouls, and he want to stop the election because he already know his power is going to be gone in the midterms. And just like they pulled some monkey wrenches for Jasmine Crockett, I expect a bunch of shenanigans to go on in the midterms also.
Oh yeah, they are about to run amok. It is about to be a whole clown show for this election coming up in just a few months. But let's look at these two reasons why we went to war with Iran alongside Israel. Did we just watch this, or is this? I think
that's what we just watched.
Yeah, we've been talking about these shifting justifications depending on
we didn't watch it. Go ahead.
Administration official you talked to, and the comment from Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Here is how he framed things when speaking to reporters yesterday. A message, by the way, House Speaker Mike Johnson then echoed a short time later.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill.
So Netanyahu dog walked y'all ass and made y'all do what the fuck he wanted y'all to do.
They had to evaluate the threats to the U.S., to our troops, to our installations, to our assets in the region and beyond. And they determined, because of the exquisite intelligence that we had, that if Israel fired upon Iran and took action against...
First off, if we are the dominant country, we got the baddest military system. We got ain't nobody comparing to us military wise. We are the strongest economically, militarily, whatever you want to call it. then why the hell would we even allow Netanyahu to think that he has the option to shoot on these people if we don't want it to happen? If we say, nah, motherfucker, you sit your ass down, you not shooting on nobody, because like I said, we not having no wars in my administration. So sit your ass down, and you're going to have to wait till the next sucker president come in and try to run game on him. But we not going to war, motherfucker. You going to have to sit your ass down, and you better not strike on their ass.
Well, you know, you got two criminals running two countries because, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu is on the run also from other countries, right?
Yeah.
And so, and, you know, Trump is a 34 count felon. So you got two criminals in charge that's doing some bunch of criminal shit, in my opinion. And so, and they keep moving the goalpost of why we're having this war. And if it was such an imminent threat, then why come Iran didn't strike us when Biden was in charge? Why they didn't strike us when Obama was in charge? And why didn't they strike us when George Bush was in charge? So
why didn't they strike us when we obliterated their nuclear system? I mean,
yeah,
that
in June of last year that we were supposed to have eliminated.
That would have been the prime time to strike, if anything.
Exactly.
So what about this particular moment made it an imminent threat against the United States of America that they were going to strike us?
Nothing. And they're just trying to gaslight us to get us hyped up to, you know, get us on board with this war. And look at, you know, to me, it's him. The Congress is all worried about the wardrobe now. So you notice what they have on. Both of them got these blue jackets on,
right?
These blue shirts, no tie.
Everybody is obsessed with trying to look like pro-American instead of just being themselves anymore. Everybody has to prove that they are the biggest patriot of America.
Yeah,
like even backgrounds on people's podcasts now, you know, it's just flags and patriotic shit. Nothing that represents who they are as an actual person or as an individual. Everybody is just so.
And I'm surprised Mike Johnson even heard anything about this war, because normally when they ask him questions, he never have, you know, he haven't heard anything, he haven't saw anything, he don't know anything. So I'm very surprised that he's even aware that we're having this war, because normally when you ask him questions, he has no answers because he's never seen anything.
Against Iran to take out the missiles, then they would have immediately retaliated against U.S. personnel and assets. We have troops in harm's way, and we have many Americans in the region, and that was of great concern. If we had waited for all of those eventualities to take place, the consequences of inaction on our part.
What eventualities?
Could have been devastating. We don't know at what magnitude, but you can assume, because it is common sense, that if Iran had begun to fire all of their missile arsenal, short and mid-range missiles, at our personnel and our assets and our installations, we would have suffered staggering losses.
So the United States government wouldn't have been able to counter.
I recognize that look in their eyes. That was a look that I would have when I was in college.
And don't believe the shit that's coming out your own damn mouth. That's the look that they had.
Facts.
If you ask me.
Facts.
Sure.
And my professor was asking me my take on the Odyssey. And I said, exquisite writing. And then I would ramble. Those were two of the stupidest answers I've ever heard in my life.
I'm embarrassed.
Marco Rubio just said of Israel that they were the preeminent threat. The preeminent threat was Israel attacking Iran. So we had to attack Iran. Hey, sir, why did you walk into the bar and punch the bartender in the face? Because my friend was about to do that. So I had to punch him because I knew after my friend punched him, he was going to. This makes no sense. Anyway, it certainly makes no sense.
I knew I was going to have to defend him after he punched him in the face.
Stupid. If this is, I can't imagine justifications for the war being stupid. They were doing much better just saying they're the epicenter of terror since 1979. They had to be.
I mean, but let's kind of dissect that analogy that he just gave, because I think that was actually a really good analogy. Basically, what they said was, and let's put it in the context of them in a bar. Basically, they just said that we knew Netanyahu was going to go in there, go in the bar and hit the bartender The bartender was in turn going to try to fight and retaliate against Netanyahu, who had just hit him. And we were going to have to jump in and help him win that fight.
Well, welcome the rest of the other countries like the UK, Australia, and other countries. Why they're not jumping into the bar fight? Because we're all in NATO together, supposedly. So they're not jumping into the fight. So like you said, it's a dumb reason. And if you're big enough to throw a leak, you should be big enough to take one.
How dumb is it for you to go into a bar and hit the bartender before the person who wanted to go in there and hit the bartender hit him? How dumb is it for you to just go in there and say, you know what's this? You ain't got to hit him. I'm going to go in there for you. Because I already know once you hit him, he going to try to come after your ass and I'm going to have to jump in anyway. So let me go in.
You starting a fight that you can't finish.
Right. It's crazy.
Be taken out. But this is getting insane now.
It is, and it also flies in the face of everything we know. That wasn't like Israel was suddenly freelancing and snuck up on the United States who was going to do it. We have our own deep reporting. The New York Times has an extensive piece this morning about Prime Minister
like we don't have intelligence.
Lobbying Donald Trump for months and months and months leading up to this day, how they picked the day, completely in concert with Israel. So the United States knew exactly what was happening and what Israel was thinking. But to your larger point, this is not what the president has said. This is not what other officials have said. They said there was an imminent threat to the United States. President Trump said that, meaning they had long-range missiles, he suggested yesterday, that could reach the United States. Most people say that is not true. Most experts, even administration insiders, say that's not true. The other rationale we heard is that they were on the brink, Steve Witkoff said on Saturday, a week away from getting the nuclear material they would need to make a nucler bomb. Most experts, most insiders say that's also not true.
Willie, by the way, I'm a week away. But Willie, I just want you to know right now, I am a week away from qualifying for the Masters this year. So there you go. No, none of this makes Willie. I mean, this is the most. I think this is the most significant decision we've made to go to war since 2003, when George W. Bush decided to go to war in Iraq, and they can't even get their justification for that. They can't. I mean, not only
their story straight, they can't get their story straight.
And anybody needs to get them together, Willie, because we're looking stupid in front of the world right now.
Yeah, those were not reassuring performances, shall we say, by the Secretary of State and Speaker of the House. And this is deadly, deadly serious stuff. Obviously, 6 American service members are dead and many more across the region. So the comments we just played for you from Rubio and Johnson contradict earlier reporting from Reuters, citing 2 people familiar with the matter who say Trump administration officials acknowledged in closed-door briefings with congressional staff there was no intelligence suggesting Iran planned to attack United States forces first. Iran's foreign minister responded to Secretary Rubio, writing on social media, he, quote, admitted what we all knew. The U.S. has entered a war of choice on behalf of Israel. There was never any so-called Iranian threat. That's from the foreign minister of Iran, Caddy K. And obviously now, in some ways, Europe has its eye on this war, being drawn in some ways as well. What is the reaction there to this step by the United States and Israel, and to the scramble to find a justification for it?
Well, I guess now we know why it was called the Department of War, not the Department of Defense, because there seems to be, and that's the perception. I've just returned from Munich, Germany last night. There seems to be a perception in Europe that this is an administration that is set on
war.
Kind of,
they want war.
Gunfire operations where it can go in
That's
and
the
take
end
out
goal
leaders. It
war.
worked in Venezuela, as you've been pointing out. It might not work here, but we know from Iraq how important it is to have a clear rationale, to have a clear reason, and to articulate that both to the American people and to the rest of the world. Because if you don't, if the reasons keep changing, it was because Israel was going to attack, it was because we were under imminent threat, then you undermine confidence in other countries around the world. And other countries around the world will then start to say, well, what do we need to do now to secure our own defense? What do we need to do to have our own mechanisms for defense? And you know what they start doing? They start looking at the countries that are not being attacked. Russia is not being attacked. China is not being attacked.
And
North
what do
Korea
they
is
all
not
have
being
in
attacked.
common?
And you quickly take a
Dictators.
position where people start thinking
Nope.
it's not just that
Nuclear
we have to have a
weapons.
common defense. We've got the Europeans at the moment talking
That too.
about more common defense and even more common nuclear defense. I think
See,
that's the
I
danger
knew
here
it.
is that if people don't trust
Nuclear
America
weapons.
to have clear reasons to act in a way that is
They're
rational,
gonna make everybody
with
say, "I need
global
to get
interests at
nuclear
heart,
weapons."
do we quickly start spiraling into a world that
Stop
is
it for a sec.
as people go for maximalist?
Shout out to MS Now for this clip. However, Kim Jong-un, okay, North Korea with his good crazy butt, you know he's getting ready to launch some missiles. He's getting ready to I guarantee you he's gonna try to join this fight. Don't have anything to do with him, but he
Well,
loved war
impacted.
also.
He is getting impacted by the oil if the strait does not open.
Yeah.
I think 80 to 90% of China's oil comes through that little passage.
That little canal.
And you know, now that they took on Venezuela, the leader of Venezuela, they don't have the access to the cheap gas that Venezuela was providing them with at first. So, you know, they're in a really tough pickle, China. So if they decide to get in, you know, that's something else that we have to think about.
Well, I know who's going to get rich off this war, and that's the defense contractors. Okay, everybody else going to lose except for the defense contractors. They're going to rack up millions and billions of dollars on this war, and I don't think Trump knew what he was getting himself into. Just like Adam Mockler said a while ago, he thought he was going to go in there and do a regime change and then, you know, come on
real
back out.
quick and come on back out.
And I don't see it nowhere in history where anyone has ever had a war that lasted 4 or 5 days. Have you?
Not in the Middle East. They don't play like that. Now Venezuela, he was able to get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the whole regime is corrupt. They probably, you know, been talking behind each other's backs and they probably playing that shit out. But this is the Middle East. They not playing with Trump. I don't know what he thought he was about to do, but Iran is one of the most evil one of the most evil regimes. Like, they killed thousands of their own protesters. So you think you about to kill a leader and they just about to concede? No, that's not what's about to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to take this lightly at all.
They will probably end their entire continent trying to get, you know, retaliation against the United States. So this is not going to end well. In addition to the fact that from reporting, it's not even possible to defeat these people because they're so relentless. They will keep the war going forever. That's why they call it a forever war, because these people will not let up.
Yeah, they're not going to give up. Like Vietnam didn't give up. You know, Vietnam sent us running home, did they not?
Right. And we had to just pretend like we, you know, it was a victory. But
yeah, we had to make up a victory. But yeah, Vietnam sent us home. And I feel like that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have to bow out of this one also. The best thing that Trump can do is say, okay, we hit our target. We got all the leaders. We got the president. Now we need to get out, and he needs to get out now.
Right. Exactly.
While he have time.
Exactly. While he has an out.
Right.
Defense positions of their own.
We want to bring in defense editor at The Economist, Shashank Joshi, and David Ignatius has the first question for you, sir. David?
So, Shashank, you follow defense matters as well as anybody that I read. Be interested in your assessment of this war, 3-4 days in, whether this is stretching out to a long war, whether you hear concerns from Gulf countries and others who are involved in it, what you think the widening effects will likely be. But just give us your sense of how this war is going and whether the Iranians are fighting with more than you would have thought.
Yeah, good morning, David. Good morning, everyone. I think the interesting thing is you've articulated in the last 15 minutes how difficult it is to understand the war aims here, because they were initially articulated as being setting the conditions for regime change in Iran. And I was confident that that is a campaign that would take multiple weeks. That's not something done in a few days. What we heard yesterday from Dan Kane, from Secretary Rubio, from Secretary Hegseth, others, was a very, very different set of aims, narrowly focused around Iran's missile program. Now, that I think can be done in a shorter period of time. They can degrade missile stockpiles. We've already heard the Israelis say they have destroyed about half of the Iranian missile launches that Iran's able to bear. And I think you could have...
All right, y'all. Say what's good to our long lost, sick co-host, guys. Foxy Angel Zone is in the house. What's good, Foxy?
Hey, Foxy. Glad you can join us.
If y'all haven't done so, go to her channel and hit the like button or subscribe, all that good stuff. And also, shout out to everybody else that's participating in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Keep participating in the chat. We'll keep posting and, highlighting your comments. But let's finish this clip out.
Really long-lasting and severe damage done to Iran's missile program by the end of this week. There's no doubt about it. But the problem is, you would still have an Iran led by individuals who are more hardline in some respects than the leaders who have been killed by the strikes so far. You have, a new leader of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, General Vahidi. Who is this man? Well, David, as you know, he is a former head of the Quds Force, the expeditionary arm of the IRGC. He was associated with the bombing of a Jewish cultural center in Argentina in the 1990s. This is not a regime that will be more moderate, more pragmatic, more deterred than that of Ayatollah Khamenei. And so I still think at the end of this week, even though enormous damage may have been done to Iran's missile program, including the supply chain, the explosives, the guidance systems, you will still have the political problem sitting in Iran of a regime that casts this incredible and ominous missile shadow over the Persian Gulf. And I think the Trump administration will find it very hard to articulate that and frame that as some kind of decisive win.
Shashank, as you point out, President Trump, even when announcing these strikes on Saturday morning, said, we have taken out the top leadership. Now, Iranian people, it is your turn to step in and fill the void and create a democratic country. We know many of you hate the regime. Go do this. He was speaking to a population of largely young people, unarmed young people, going up against the IRGC and these commanders who very much continue the legacy of the supreme leader. So how reasonable, how plausible, if at all, is it to expect now that with the supreme leader and others dead, that this movement can come back when just over a month ago they did take to the streets and thousands of them were killed?
Look, I think the movement can come back. This regime has lost all legitimacy. It's hollowed out. It's hated by the people. There's no doubt about that. But no one is going to come out while the bombs are falling. None of us would come out onto the streets in those circumstances. In fact, President Trump told them not to. He said, wait till I'm finished. Now, the other problem is that some of these strikes so far have targeted the state security apparatus, right? So Israeli strikes have hit Basij headquarters across the country. The Basij, of course, are the paramilitary organization that did lots of the repression a few months ago. They have struck IRGC bases in different parts of the country. But I think the focus of these first 3 days of operations have been on Iran's missile forces, Iran's navy, and nuclear and missile sites, as well as political leadership. I think if you are going to give the Iranian people the confidence to say, if we go back onto the streets in a week's time and we want confidence we are not going to be gunned down in the same way, I think what you need to see is an Israeli and American set of strikes over the next 4 or 5 days that systematically break down Iran's domestic security apparatus. I think that is a very hard thing to do. And I think that President Trump will face the dilemma between doing that and upholding his commitment to the Iranian people that he has made and sucking himself into a longer campaign. But look, he should remember the case of George W. Bush, H.W. Bush in 1991, who, as you will recall, David and others, others, called upon the Iraqi people to rise up in 1991 after the first Gulf War, and the Shias in the south and the Kurds in the north did so, and they were massacred by Saddam Hussein. That should be, I think, a very, very cautionary tale for American strategy today.
So could Trump have been telling the people to go out to their deaths? And do you think that's something that he probably, wants to happen?
I don't even think he anticipated all of this happening, to be honest with you. I just think he was following the leader, which is Israel.
Right.
And for whatever reason, his master. Well, let's not just say his master. Let's say Congress's master, because we have both people on both sides of the aisle,
right,
voting to fund Israel. And I don't know why.
Funded by AIPAC.
Yeah, and I don't know why we're so beholden to Israel, because Israel has never done anything for us.
But
other
take
than
our
cost
money.
us, but take our money. Yeah, we've
And
been giving them money all
American
this time
lives.
for nothing.
And lives,
so,
because we just had 6 people give their lives.
Yeah.
For nothing that Americans gonna benefit from. So
yeah, nothing that we're gonna benefit from. And also, who's to say that you're not going to get the same? The Ayatollah is gone. So, but who's to say that you're not going to get the same type of regime?
Well, Trump said that. He said, the worst
Well,
case
he just
scenario
said he
is that
killed all
somebody
the good
worse
people.
go in. He
Yeah.
said, worst case scenario is we get somebody worse. So you really don't have no plan. You don't have no plan to help these people rise up and take over their country and start a democracy, whatever kind of regime you think that they should have. You don't have no plan to start that.
There's no plan at all. They can't even get the reasons straight of why we went to war. So if you can't get the cause, you definitely don't have a plan, in my opinion. They've came up with 3 or 4 different stories within the last 4 to 5 days, so they can't even figure out why we're in war with Iran, other than just following Israel's lead, in my opinion.
Well, social media is saying, look, if you want to take us to war, then you need to have some skin in the game.
Right.
And you need to go ahead and let Barron enlist into one of these armed forces and take his ass out there so he could fight in this war his goddamn self.
Not only Barron, send Don Jr. and
Eric. Send them all. Send
the whole family over there. Since
the
you
women
start
too.
This war. Yeah. Since you're gonna kill everybody else's children, let yours be on the front line also.
Right. So let's look at a couple of videos, guys. Some short.
Barron Trump, you should enlist right fucking now. Your mom's a fucking whore and your dad's a fucking kid diddler. It is the only thing that you could do to bring honor to your family name at this point and cancel out whatever sins they've committed upon this country.
Oh. Goddamn.
Well, damn.
Okay.
Okay,
y'all, that was TikTok. What's her name on TikTok? I can't see her name.
Her name is Yumi XX EUMIEXX. Y'all go follow, girl. I mean, that was a way to put it. That.
It's just too much shit, but I'm gonna say this shit. If you voted for that man, get your ass on the front line. All these mega white women, if you voted for that man, put your children in front. We don't need a fucking draft. Y'all need to get y'all asses up and go ahead and sign up to fight. And I think this needs to be a law. If you voted for the man that won the election, if he goes to war, your ass should be the first ones up there saying and swearing in. Y'all said he was going to be a no-war president. Bullshit. And don't try to switch sides now. And to that white woman that's sitting here crying, talking about leftists are giving her a hard time when she finally left the MAGA cult, bitch. And I do mean bitch. You voted for that man 3 times and he was a racist. He was a sexist. He was a 40-something time felon before he got in office. Get no fucking sympathy. I don't give a fuck if you do cross the fuck over. We gonna haze the fuck out of you. Don't give us your white woman tears, these long ass fucking letters from other white women that are realizing they fucked up when they voted. You voted for your whiteness. You voted because you were white.
Right.
You voted for that man because he was white. You voted for that man because how dare a black woman be a president before a white woman be a president?
Right.
So I don't give a fuck if you sit up here and cry. Take your ass to the front line. You want us to accept you? Take your sons and your daughters to the front line. Because right now, Iran is not playing. They hitting every fucking thing. And it's your president's fault, because bitch, she's not mine.
Okay, we got to do the mic drop again on that one.
Okay, now who is that on TikTok?
We got the unfiltered veteran. This is
Okay.
a veteran.
Yeah.
Know what
That
I'm saying?
knows
And
what it's about. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. I agree with everything that she said, because y'all, if you voted for him, I don't even care if you white, if you black and you voted for him 3
Or
times.
green, purple, orange, or blue.
Period. Now, most of the people who are white that probably voted for him did probably vote for him because, am I going to put a white man in office or am I going to put a black woman in office? That may have came across your mind, and that was one of the factors that you used to make your decision. So again, I totally agree with what she said.
Right. And at the end of the day, his voters were deceived also. MAGA, a lot of people in MAGA is mad because we're in war. Nick Fuentes is having a whole fit about this war. Megyn Kelly, a lot of MAGA that's online are not on board with this war because he ran on peace. They have a whole montage clip with him saying there will be no more wars. Even I should have got that clip when he was claiming that Obama was gonna start a war with Iran because his numbers were down, but in actuality that was his whole plan the whole entire time.
Right, exactly. You did a whole campaign trying to smear Obama over saying that he trying to start wars with Iran, which that didn't happen. But with you, within the first year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
Speaking of veterans, like the last lady was, here's another military active Marine, all right, by the name of Brian McGinnis. If you guys don't know who Brian McGinnis is, just stay tuned. You soon will. But in response to the video that we are going to show you, which trigger alert, if you don't like seeing, bones popped out of place and the sound of bones being popped out of place, you might not want to see the next clip. But this is a response from the Marine who spoke up against this war on Israel after he was viciously removed from the hearing and it caused him to have his arm broken. So this is their response. It says, on behalf of Brian's family, we want to express our deepest gratitude for the overwhelming outpouring of support messages and contributions over the last 24 hours. At this time, our priority is Brian's well-being. We are taking a necessary step back from the public eye to allow him to focus fully on his recovery in private. Wow, he looks forward to engaging with you all again very soon. His health and his family remain the current priorities. Thank you for all the continued patience and for being such an incredible community. Please keep Brian and his family in your prayers. Team McGinnis. All right, so this is the response, and let's get into what led to this response, guys. Oh, did I not bring the video on? I think I may have to upload the video. Let me add the video so we can see it.
To name that shows you exemptness as leaders. This is wrong. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
This is what they did because he was speaking up.
Yeah, I've never seen Captain Police be
As a
aggressive.
Marine and stand up for America. Out. No one
He said,
wants
"Out."
to fight for Israel.
Oh,
ouch!
Trigger warning, guys.
Out. No one
What the?
wants to fight for Israel.
His hand. Oh, his hand.
Okay, I can't see it no more.
Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door. Can you let? The senator broke his hand.
And then him still get manhandled while his arm was broken. Oh my God.
Arm stuck in the door. A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Hand stuck. A U.S. senator.
Oh my God.
I know. Wow. And he didn't even act like his hand was like they broke his elbow or hand or whatever that was. He just said
took it
out.
like a G.
Yeah, he took that like a G. But I've never seen I've never seen the Capitol Police be this aggressive except for January the 6th.
Yeah.
When they had to be aggressive, but normally they just escort people out of the hearings. They don't do all of this commando shit that this guy, that the Capitol Police was doing to take this guy out. Matter of fact, I don't even think they asked him. They just grabbed him.
Right. They didn't ask him to leave. He was just talking and they just started grabbing him, very, to me, aggressively, like hostilely.
Right. Yeah. Like ICE. They act like ICE agents. That's how ICE was treating the public. And so this is no difference in my opinion.
And this man is a Marine, a U.S. Marine. Like, he is in the armed forces. He fights. He put his life on the line for our country. And he can't even voice his opinion. So it's like, you're only good enough to fight for and die for our country, but you're not good enough to actually have a say on, if we go to war or not. Only the president who wouldn't dare put his family in harm's way by putting them in a war.
Who dodged the draft with his bone sparers.
5-time, 6-time draft dodger.
Right.
Only he can tell us who can go to war and put their lives on the line for the country.
Right. And none of his kids none of his kids been in the military also. So let that sink in.
Well, they saying that what you guys think? Do y'all think that Barron Trump needs to take his ass and enlist into the military ASAP so he can be out on the front lines, of this war that his dad has started? And we don't have no real good explanation for why we at war right now. What y'all think? Y'all think Barron need to take his ass on and enlist?
I think he should.
All right, guys. Well, that's the war. But the other thing that what we are celebrating, guys, today, I mean, that wasn't really good news, but today we are celebrating the fact that Kristi Noem is no longer going to be the Secretary of Defense. Well, I mean, what is she? The Secretary of Homeland Security?
Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah. So, I mean, the person that they're replacing her with, we don't know, if he's going to be any better. But it is good that she is no longer going to be there.
Well, he might be able to hide it better.
He might be able to hide it better, right?
Yeah, but I don't think the mission has changed. It's just the people,
right?
Just the head of it. But I feel like they're still going to be terrorizing the American public with these ridiculous immigration tactics.
Well, Texas is full of immigrants, so obviously we see how that worked out for them for these midterm, elections. So,
as I understand it, this is a $220 million ad campaign. It's split between two contractors.
Oh, now this one was a good one, y'all. Look at this one. He fried her, ate her, chewed her up, spit her out, threw away the gristle. There was nothing left of Kristi Noem after this one. So y'all look at this. I love this one.
And this is Representative John the Goose from Colorado.
Yes.
One of those contractors got $143 million That contractor is called Safe America Media, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That company is
Correct.
affiliated with a former political director of the National Republican Congressional Committee. DHS identified 4 companies. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States, you identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary.
How you
We
don't
can't find it.
know?
We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Where's that address?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll
Because
tell
it
you
was
about
done
it.
according to
Madam
law.
Secretary,
It
the
was done
Just
by
answer the damn
contract.
question.
to a political
was
operative.
dollars that
Madam
were
Trying to gaslight.
The company.
Yeah, she's trying to gaslight. Answer the damn question.
She
Do
did
you know?
say, is there a problem with the contract?
That's not the answer. We want to know if you know where this company that you just gave $140 million contract to is headquartered.
And then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why?
How the hell you don't know? And you just granted them $140 million contract. And you don't know if they've ever done work for the government before?
And you coming to testify. So normally when people come to testify to Congress, they bring a binder with them, with their notes. They know what's going to be asked of them.
Right.
And so, why don't you know anything about this country, this company that you gave that $140 million to?
We know that because it was incorporated 8 days. 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe
this company wasn't even established for a full month.
Right.
And got
you didn't know?
But they identified these companies themselves. They bypassed the regular what is it, contract bid?
Bidding contracts.
Right.
Bids.
Right. They didn't put it up for a bid. They bypassed that. They identified these 4 companies on their own volition, or whatever you want to call it. They did the research and they said that these were the 4 companies that they wanted to go with. And you mean to tell me you don't know where this company is headquartered at? You don't know if this company ever did a government contract for the government before? But you identified the company? How? What sources, what resources did you use to figure out that this company, out of the thousands, hundreds of thousands of other companies, was the best company that was incorporated 8 days ago?
Well, it sounds like an inside job to me. Sound like she know somebody that know who owned this company.
That's why I feel like he owned. Like after this, there's no way she could have kept her job. Let's finish this out.
that this is all above board? Yes, that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered apparently or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota. The reason why I ask these questions is that this is taxpayer money. And I presume, I don't know this for a fact, but Senator Tillis noted yesterday the way in which your agency is blocking the Inspector General from 11 different investigations that it is trying to conduct. I don't know if this happens to be one of them. I certainly hope it is, because eventually the facts will become public in this regard. And there are serious laws implicated, conflict of interest laws, federal procurement laws that I believe
all
merit.
followed, all done correctly,
Was
all
it
done
all done
legally.
correctly?
14 billion impressions from that
the-
marketing campaign.
sure.
It was money spent in this
Impressions?
country and in 8
The
different
fuck?
countries that illegal migration was coming from.
So is our government ran off of impressions now? The hell? So 140
Well, hold on now. Hold Hold on. Now, you know our president tweets all the time. He tweeted when she got fired.
This is the social media presidency. This is the social
Right.
media administration.
So that does matter to this administration.
Right.
Social media is a big part of this administration. Everything that he want to relate to the American public, he related to his Truth Social
right.
site that he
We
owns.
even talked to Pam Bondi to tell her to commit crimes online
on Truth Social.
On Truth Social. So
So it do matter to them.
Madam Secretary,
overwhelmingly effective.
We all
$39
understand the argument that you've made. The argument that you've made that somehow this ad campaign on Fox News of you at Mount Rushmore has led to millions of people self-deporting. You're using
why do you think
millions
that
of
they did
dollars of
self-deport?
taxpayer
Had they not known?
money in this way. It is fraud, and ultimately, I think there's going to be accountability. And I yield back.
Can I speak to the IG?
Yes, you can.
The IG has been told repeatedly.
Oh, bitch, we don't even want to hear what you gotta say. We can move on, but he just ate her alive because he pointed out what we all know. This is fraud. This is fraud. This is the waste, and this is the abuse that should have been taken out. This is what Doge was put in place to take out.
Well, they got rid of Doge.
They got rid of Doge and then put this heifer in place.
In my opinion, they set up Doge to catch the non-fraud, and then they start
fraud, right?
and then they start committing fraud. Is basically what had happened on that end, in my opinion.
Any other departments that could actually hold them accountable, he said, "No, we can't. We got to get rid of those.
Yeah,
we got to get rid of those so we can actually do what we need to do."
Right.
And so this is the result. You have this woman who is out here pretty much using taxpayer dollars as if they're
willy-nilly any kind of way she want to.
as a way to enrich all her friends, herself, and all the people around her. This is what nepotism and all types of different, but this is crime. This is criminal. This is what, in my opinion, and in his opinion, and I think that if it was investigated, what the grand jury would determine, this is all illegal, it's fraud, and she should be prosecuted and put in jail.
Well, she should have
and forced to pay that shit back.
She should have pulled a Pam Bondi. Okay.
Oh yeah, she ain't performing right, and
she ain't performing the right way. That's why come she got the boot, because she didn't perform. That's because she didn't perform the correct way.
And you said it earlier too. The other thing is, on top of her not performing the correct way, she's stealing. Only one person is in office that could steal. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, to the level of which she is stealing.
Right. He can put his hands in all of the cookie jars, but as soon as somebody else put their hand in the cookie jar, it's a problem.
It's a problem. All right, so let's look at John Kennedy grill Kristi Noem about this $220 million that she spent on these ads. Now, we all know that the company that did the ads, one of the companies, looks to be pretty much fraud. Okay, but let's look at what John Kennedy had to say about it.
I believe you have a policy, Madam Secretary, that you have to approve all contracts at your department over $100 million.
No, sir. I have a policy in place that I review contracts. My deputy chiefs have the ability to review anything under $5 million. Above that, I evaluate and look at.
Okay. And you do that, I understand, to try to curb waste and abuse of taxpayer money. Is that right?
Yes, sir. In fact, it's been extremely effective. We've saved the taxpayers over $13.2 billion just by evaluating contracts, negotiating lower ones, and canceling ones that aren't necessary to do our duties.
She is out of her depth.
How do you square that?
I want to see the receipts of the $13.2 billion.
Absolutely.
With the fact that you have
that lie right there should have got him arrested.
$220 million running television advertisements that feature you prominently.
Sir, the president tasked me with getting the message out to the country and to
Let me take these.
other countries where we were seeing the invasion come from. With putting commercials out that told them that if they were in this country illegally, that they needed to leave, or we would detain them and remove them, and they'd not get the chance to come back to America the right way. That has been extremely effective.
Ask you to run these advertisements, is that right?
We had that conversation, yes, before I was put in this position and sworn in and confirmed, and since then as well.
Okay. Did you bid out those service contracts?
Yes, they did. They went out to a competitive bid. and
What?
Career officials at the department chose who would do those.
Y'all see her just lie like that? Wow.
Advertising commercials.
And the people that you ended up picking were people who had formerly done your political work back in South Dakota. Is that right?
No, that's not correct, sir.
I think it is.
No, it's not, sir. The individuals who, I believe the careers who they chose were two different media firms. There's been conversation about their subcontractors, but we have no legal authority to look into contractors on work like that.
What's good, allegedly?
And you're saying that you're testifying that President Trump approved this ahead of time. Is that my understanding?
We had conversations about making sure that we were telling people.
No, ma'am. I'm asking you, sorry to interrupt, but the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly.
Did the president know
worked
you
with
were going to do
OMB.
this?
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
Okay.
And one thing, Senator, I think would be
that's what got her fired. That line right there.
Yeah.
That line right there.
That line right there.
Right there. That's what got her
Did
fired.
the president know you was gonna do this?
Yeah, he knew.
Yes.
He knew. I had told him. I had ran it by him.
And then the calm. Okay. All right. So he knew this. All right.
Yeah.
I just knew it. Okay.
Has been that
Well, they were
overwhelmingly
effective in your name recognition. I mean, I personally just, I mean, to me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot. And
This is
and
like he
I'm
know
not
the
saying you're
president
not telling the
personally.
truth. It's just hard for me to believe, knowing the president, as I do, that you said, Mr. President, here's some ads I've cut, and I'm going to spend $220 million running them, that he would have agreed to that. I don't think Russ Vogt at OMB would have agreed to that. It's something we have to defend. I'm on the Appropriations Committee. My research shows that you did not bid them out, that you pick. In fact, one of the people you picked, the strategy group, Safe America Media, was a company formed 11 days before you picked them, and that the strategy group got most of the money, and the head of that is married to your former spokesperson. Look, we all have friends who qualify. I'm just, it troubles me.
Well, goddamn, the man, the company has somebody that was the registered address comes from somebody who was married to her former campaign manager.
Mm-hmm. Corey Lewandowski. John Kennedy just told her, I talks to the president in so many words.
Yes.
I'm on the Appropriations Committee. I know you lying, ma'am. Why are you sitting here lying to me?
He acted like he already knew what the answer was. That's
he do know. He's a Republican. He talks to Trump. He's a senator.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he was so calm. He's like, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. And he don't have this accent either. He picks this accent up only when he come to the hearings. And when he want to do
a performance, that
Louisiana really comes out.
He trying to be nice with her. He trying to, you know, he ain't trying to grill her, but
really, it sounds like he's trying to give her
the opportunity.
The opportunity to tell the truth. The way he, the way he looking at her and the way he asking these questions. He's like, all right, now I'm trying to give you, an out. I'm trying to let you tell the truth.
He basically assessing. It seemed like he kind of assessing what we need to do. What I need to do.
Do you think him and Trump had a conversation?
Yeah.
Before this meeting,
And
Trump said, if she lie, I'm a fire.
Yeah.
Sound like that's what he's doing to me.
He said, no worry, I'm gonna let you know if you need to fire her by the end of this meeting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know if you need to fire her. And so he had his questions set up. He already knew how he wanted her to answer it, and she put her foot in her mouth.
Well, Mr. President, I gave her every chance to tell the truth, and
when he
she
said
just lied.
When he said, so President Trump knew that you were going to do. She should have said, well, maybe he didn't know exactly to the extent. That was him telling her, look, I already know.
Yeah, we done
So
had this conversation,
one more time.
Wait
So
a minute,
you can get the answer right.
JR talking about bye, Felicia.
Look, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And as soon as she answered it the way she answered it, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah. When she said he knew, I felt like that's what got her job taken away from her.
Yeah.
Of $1 billion of taxpayer money, when we're scratching for every penny and we're fighting over rescission packages, I just can't agree with Madam Secretary. Are you still running those ads?
No, Senator, I did not have anything to do with picking those contractors. I know politicals at the Department of Homeland Security did.
I understand. Are you
Career
still running
officials
those
followed
ads?
the competitive bid process.
Are you still running
Everything
those ads?
And
I think
she's
the ads
still
are
saying
due
that
to
it's
end
competitive
here in
bid.
March. I think within a week.
So
or two.
they
I'm
are
not sure of
still
the
running?
update. The one that is running is focusing on angel families. Have you seen that? It is the one that's talking about this is our why. This is why we work every day.
Okay.
It's for the angel
I've gotta
families
move
and their
on.
victims that need to.
He didn't ask you to give the damn commercial on the damn hearing. But yeah, he basically really let her have it on that one. Then we had Senator Tom Tillis, who, of course, these are Republican senators, by the way. Tillis, I think, is going to be resigning. But he still grilled that ass, and we still gonna talk about it. Let's look at it.
Now, why have I been critical of Secretary Noem? Because I don't think we're focusing on, we have limited resources. ICE can't be everywhere at once. There's very few people in Capitol Hill. that
Y'all hit
support
the
law
like
enforcement
button.
more than me, including the sworn ICE officers. In fact, I've just been told, fortunately, in about a week and a half, we're going to get a plaque on the wall over the Capitol, thanking the Capitol police officers and all the agencies that responded on January 6th. All those thugs have actually been pardoned, and yet we haven't thanked the Capitol police officers for their work here.
And he is absolutely right. That is mind-boggling how our law enforcement, the people that are, sworn in to protect us, who went to the Capitol to protect America,
and them,
put their lives on the line, and we still ain't recognized them, but we gave everybody that caused all that chaos a pardon.
Well, January 6th was a peaceful protesting day, according to, Agent Orange.
Leave it to him. He might make it a holiday.
Right.
So when I say I'm unapologetically pro-law enforcement, you can count in every single sworn officer in Homeland Security. So why am I disappointed with Secretary Noem? Because we're not going after enough people who did this damage at the expense of running numbers that Stephen Miller wants out of the White House. We just want numbers. We want 1,000 a day, 6,000 a day, 9,000 a day, because numbers matter, right? No, they don't matter. Quality matters, not quantity, quality. And what we've seen is a disaster. Under your leadership, Ms. Noem, a disaster. What we've seen is innocent people getting detained that turn out are American citizens. I could talk about the culture that's been created here with Stephen Miller aiding and abetting. I heard first reports that he was the one that said it was a domestic terrorist situation where 2 people lost their lives in Minneapolis. I've heard that report. Maybe you can refute it. I don't know that we'll have time for you to respond because I'm giving you a performance evaluation here. I'm not looking for a response.
I know that's right. She ain't gonna respond with nothing worth anything anyway. So that was the clip. If you guys want to see the full clip of Senator Tillis grilling her ass, y'all can find it on all the different media stations, C-SPAN, CNN, Forbes, wherever you get your local news from.
Or social media platform, because it's splattered all over social media also. And so Tom Tillis, I don't know if he would have grilled her like this if he wasn't going to be in office again. You know, it seems like when people get ready to leave, they kind of grow a pair of cojones, you know.
Right.
And they start speaking truth to power. They start not caring what they say, and they definitely don't go along with everything that Trump says because they don't have to worry about his voters voting for them. So then they start kind of telling the truth when they're, on their way out.
They've been wanting to say,
Mhm.
but because of their political,
Capital.
position, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, Jamie Raskin, he's definitely not a stranger to letting Secretary Noem have it. And in this demonstration, it definitely wasn't any different. He definitely grilled the out of her, and I was here for every moment.
yeah, I love Jamie Raskin. He's a great lawyer. He's in Congress also. He's in the House. And, he helped set up the impeachment for Trump the first time. He was one of the managers that worked on that. So he's a great lawyer in my opinion. And if y'all want to subscribe to the channels, I put Foxy 2, Roxy 3 channel in the chat, and my channel, I Said What I Said, in the chat. And if you're on Off the Record channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on that channel also. And please like the video.
We definitely appreciate it, guys, and thank y'all for being in here. Whether or not you have a aligning view, opposing view, we accept everybody. You all are more than welcome to put your feelings, your opinions in the chat, and we will highlight you all. There's no hate here, because eventually I feel like MAGA, you all are going to end up being on the side that
the right side
of history. And I think your leader is going to not give you a choice in the matter. So
yeah, because it's not about left or right. It's about doing the right thing, moral and ethics. It's what it's really about.
And really, America first, because
because America is last at this point.
Like even the veterans, they gotta say. The veterans don't have a say. They getting killed and getting their arms broken for just trying to speak peacefully their opposing view. They're losing their lives and being hospitalized. Right. Then we have this war for Israel that we are the only thing that we're getting out of this war is higher gas prices.
And food prices are going to go. Everything is going to go up.
Everything is going to go up. Mm-hmm. That's it. And we're going to have a lot of Americans who are dead. That's what we're going to get. That's what we're going to get out of this. Unfortunately, that is what we're getting out of this war. Now, if we're getting something else that I don't know, if we're benefiting in some kind of other way by avoiding a strike that, the people who had the intelligence in these, CIA and FBI, the intelligence they were saying is that we didn't have that threat for another decade or more.
Right.
But now it's imminent. So.
Well, I wonder, are they trying to just, wipe Iran off the face of the earth like they did Lebanon and other countries? Like they did Gaza. Gaza is just nothing now. It's just rubble. Right. And nothing is there. So I wonder, are they trying to do the same thing to Iran so that some quote unquote golf courses and country clubs, and some other things can be built in that area.
Billionaires for
billionaires
people
to
with
enjoy. Yeah, because seems
money.
like to me, a lot of things that's happening now, especially with Gaza and Israel, it's all about the land that they want and the potential money that they can make in the future, in my opinion, allegedly.
Yep. We're really kind of being big bullies right now. We feeling ourselves, and we got some big bully energy right now. But I don't know if it's going to bode well for America in the long run. So we just gonna have to see what we're getting out of this. What happens? Let's look at Raskin, and we'll get into some more clips. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Madam Secretary, you've provided no evidence to back up your defamatory lie against either of these American citizens. There have been 3 homicides in Minneapolis in 2026. Your agents committed 2 of them.
Ooh.
Rather than work with state and local authorities to solve these homicides, you barred Minnesota's investigators from the crime scenes. You're denying them access to all the evidence that you have about the deaths of their citizens. It smells like a cover-up, and it makes me wonder who the real domestic terrorists are. Were Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists?
Congressman, what happened in Minnesota in those 2 incidents was an absolute tragedy.
Were they domestic terrorists, as you said to the
And
country?
my condolences to their families, because I know that their lives will never be the same
What?
after that happened.
Is that an apology for what you said?
We, in those incidents, offer as much information as we can from officers and agents on the ground in a chaotic scene that gets.
I'll repeat
relayed
my question,
to
reclaiming
us
my
so that
time.
we can
Based on what you know today, Madam
She is
Secretary,
not answering
based
the
on what you know
question.
today, were Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists?
As you know, there's ongoing investigations that are being led by the FBI.
But you didn't wait for the investigation, did you? You didn't wait for the evidence. You proclaimed that they were domestic terrorists at the time. Why did you do that?
Before they was even at the hospital.
Why did you do that?
Are going into a dangerous situation.
Why did you call them domestic terrorists?
Is our ICE officers and our HSI officers that day risked their lives to protect that scene, so evidence could be reclaimed, so it could be used in the investigation. Because those violent rioters that
So
were
you're
there
proud of the fact
would
that
have-
you called them domestic terrorists? Is that
those
what you're telling America?
individuals, HSI officers put their lives on the line to protect that scene, so evidence so we could have.
Yes, they
a
do.
thorough
Yes, they
and
do. But
accurate
you told a lie about them. You said that they were domestic terrorists. Do you regret that?
I offer my condolences to those family. And
Based
again,
on what you know
them
today,
that-
were Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists?
There's ongoing investigations, and so I
So
can't.
you still don't know. You think that's an open question?
I would think you would want there to still be investigations going into these situations.
Well, you stated the conclusion 2 hours after they were killed that they were domestic terrorists. I wanted to give you an opportunity to correct the record, not just for their family, but for everybody in America who believes in the truth and fairness and honesty.
In every situation, as facts come out, we relay.
You know, your acting ICE director, Todd Lyons, came before Congress. He said he had no knowledge whatsoever that Alex Preddy and Renee Good were domestic terrorists. None. This is your guy. He said that. He admitted that that was wrong. Why won't you admit it?
Because she's a lying sack of shit. That's why. That's why. And
Maybe Jamie is eating her up for lunch. She's
Right.
not answering the questions, but he is tearing her up. And that's why I like Jamie Raskin. He is such a great lawyer and
Right.
prosecutor. He definitely know how to he know how to frame those questions. And she's not answering any of them. She's talking about what she want to talk about, and he's asking, really yes and no answers.
She don't even sound like a human at this point. Like, can't you just she's just trying to read off it's kind of like a chat GPT. Our officers are required to go through a rigorous investigation in which they are able to determine the likelihood of the severity of which she posed a threat. And I mean, it's like shut the hell up. Are they domestic terrorists or not? Yes or no?
Well, I think she tried to gauge Pam Bundy's hearing, and remember how Pam Bundy, remember how she was being so argumentative with them and just spewing out all kind of no nonsense answers. So she gauged that as and MAGA told Pam Bundy up about it. The American public and MAGA. A lot of people were mad at Pam Bundy for not answering the questions.
But
So
she
I
was
think
just trying to please one person. See,
yeah. So
that's what.
I think she tried to flip the script and say, well, I'm not going to do the Pam Bundy. I'm going to try to answer the questions, so that people won't come after me. And you still, people coming, you still got fired.
But see, that's where she went wrong, because you need to not worry about the people coming after you. The only person you need to worry about is your leader, your master, the person that you're in servitude for. And just like Pam Bondi, she didn't care. She, just like in the second hearing, she did the same thing. She's going full-fledged. Trump is the greatest. Don't say anything bad about Trump, and I'm not answering any of your questions.
Right.
And that's the play, period. And that's what Kristi Noem failed at miserably.
She should have called him and asked him what did he want her to say.
Well, she probably already knew she was doing some shady shit too. So she probably really don't want to be in the radar of Donald Trump anyway. Mm-hmm. She got this man that she's sleeping with, allegedly.
Yeah, funneling money to his company.
Funneling money to his company and shit. So, she really trying to be under the radar.
Allegedly. Too busy to pay. She thought he was too busy to pay attention.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you got, people like John Kennedy.
All right, well, and speaking of her allegedly having this affair, let's talk about the question that was posed to Kristi Noem during this hearing.
At any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
as
time,
an advisor,
Secretary, it is
has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
Has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
But it is
decisions,
also a
putting
real
in
question.
positions.
It's very
But I would
telling
say
that you're not
you
answering
answer
too.
What we do at the Department of Homeland Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
every single day. is
That's
to
a
yes or no.
Who is
Hello.
asking if
Decisions.
you or any federal official
That's
is sleeping
right.
with their subordinate? That should
I
be
have-
the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
As
Just
garbage.
on the
It is not
record
about your
to get it
sense
off
that you
the.
brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage.
It is
has
about
been
reclaiming
No,
my
bitch, you're
time.
garbage. For
Baby, she's
sleeping.
stuck in the middle. Her husband behind her and her man looking in the corridor.
Right.
So who is it, him or is it me? She can't choose.
She can't answer that question. Do you see where
Yeah.
she? So yeah, but it's very telling you not answering that question. Very straightforward.
Very telling. Very telling.
And that husband of yours should sit you down and have a conversation with you to see exactly what that answer, a clear, definitive answer to that question, yes or no. Are you sleeping with your subordinate? What's his name? Lewandowski.
Corey Lewandowski, yeah. He used to be Trump's campaign manager in 2016.
Madam Secretary.
Okay, we got another. Okay, so we went straight for the other one where he was. Who is this again? Moskowitz.
Yeah, Moskowitz.
All right. Well, he followed it up since she ain't answered that question. He followed it up and he said, I still want to know the answer. So if y'all want to know the answer, hit the like button. But we about to play.
Welcome. Good afternoon. Thomas Massey mentioned Ron DeSantis' response during COVID. Well, you're looking at the guy who ran that response. I was the director of emergency management for the state of Florida. For a Republican governor, I worked with the Trump FEMA administration during the Category 5 Hurricane Michael recovery. That Trump's FEMA was great. We got expedited reimbursement, a program that you got rid of or threatened to get rid of. And the Panhandle had one of the greatest responses after that Category 5 storm. President said he wanted to reform FEMA, but that's not what you did. You basically destroyed the agency. Largest FEMA backlog in the history of FEMA. My state of Florida is owed $2.5 billion. You have delayed the FEMA disaster declarations, even when the applicants meet FEMA statutory threshold under the Stafford Act. You want states to do more, yet you want to cut the EMPG program, which grants them funding to build capacity. Your office was involved in discussions of moving FEMA to Texas. You created a rule of anything over $100,000 has to come to your desk, a rule that has slowed down FEMA reimbursement, FEMA response. We have empty regional offices. You have done the opposite of what President Trump wanted to accomplish, which was to speed up the process. Your policies have made the department slow.
I don't think a lot of people kind of understand how absurd requiring anything over $100,000 be approved by her personally. And this is disaster relief for entire regions.
Right. She's not even focused on FEMA. Remember, everybody gone from FEMA.
Exactly.
They hollered out the whole
process even more.
Huh?
Which prolongs the process even more.
Yeah, people are still waiting on FEMA funds, and you know he's explaining that. But you know, it was a lot of people didn't even receive the funds, you know, that's supposed to be allocated to them, because she's not concerned about that. She's concerned about funneling money and taking trips on a plane that the American taxpayers are paying for, and riding her boyfriend around.
Well, let's be very clear. There is a level of concern about it because she has actively put policies in place to prolong their ability to receive relief funding. So she cares about it to some capacity, to where she's willing to make it harder for you to get the funds. You know, if she didn't care about it, she could have just kept it the way it was, and
Well, yes, because at the end of the day, you know, she's probably funneling those funds to, you know,
exactly
to her to this account that she's building up, her little nest egg that she's building up. So yeah,
right. She needs a way to divert them funds.
Yeah, and you know, she think Trump ain't paying attention, which he probably wasn't until somebody brought it to his attention. Because let's keep in mind, if you the president, you got all kind of crap going on. You can't worry about what all your department heads are doing, you know. So
he's trying to figure out how to build his wealth up more.
Right, he's trying to fill up his
damn.
Yeah. Right, he can't even fill up his pockets because the other people, you know, she got her little grubby hands in the cookie jar.
And now he got to take time to, address this shit. I got my own corrupt shit I'm trying to do.
Well, he took the time, all right. He let her. He fired her. So you know, he did what he had to do. You know, and then created a fake agency that she's gonna be over.
Right.
I keep seeing in the chat, she didn't get fired. She got promoted. Baby, you can't get promoted to a department that don't exist. That is a demotion, not a promotion. Okay.
Well, we're gonna see if her salary remains the same too.
Yeah.
Because that should be public record. What her salary is on this new job promotion or demotion or whatever she got. We need to see how much she getting paid to do.
The hell out the Secretary of Defense of Homeland Security is what she got.
I didn't think it was possible to make FEMA more bureaucratic, but boy, you have exceeded all my expectations. In the Texas floods, you didn't put the urban search and rescue crews on the road for 72 hours. Days later, the FEMA urban search and rescue chief resigned in protest. You hired 2 people as the administrator with no FEMA experience. We're on our 3rd FEMA administrator in 14 months. Never in the history of the department has that ever happened. The president took presidential action to create the FEMA Council. I supported it. You opposed the FEMA Council. You delayed its beginning. The report has still not come out. The White House canceled your last council meeting and has held up the release of the report. But surprise, I have it. I have it. I want to thank the former FEMA employees that you fired who gave this to me. This report's never been seen in public before. Okay, but this is it. This was the report. It was 122 pages, the original draft report. You and Corey Lewandowski then took the report and made it 23 pages. You cut out all the stuff that was put in by governors who had been through disasters, emergency management directors, FEMA experts, national security experts. You cut it all out. It's all gone. That's why the report's not been released. Sitting in the White House trying to figure out this mess that you created. So instead of getting the recommendations we need, now we have nothing. You've called Corey Lewandowski a special government employee. I understand what government means. I understand what employee means. Okay, but I don't know what makes him special. Now, I want to give you an opportunity.
You know what makes him special.
To answer on the record to Ms. Camlager-Dove's question. I know you said it's garbage, and it may be, but I really think you need to say the word no into the record so that you can clear that up.
I think the ridiculousness of this and the tabloids that you are quoting and referencing are insane. And this has been
So that's a no?
something that I've refuted
Is
for
that a no?
years, and I continue to do that.
So it's a
What I
no.
would tell you is
We
when
can move
it
on.
regards
Hold
to
on.
what you're
Madam Secretary,
doing,
we can move on. I'm not going to belabor it. If it's
this is what you do.
Hold on. I'm not.
Socialists-
She keep talking because she know it ain't a no.
That's her husband with the mustache,
Hey,
with the
that would be
mustache
the
that's sitting back there with his hands
Uh-huh.
closed.
And she
That's
keep
her
talking
husband.
because she know it ain't a no.
We're claiming
I will
my
tell
time,
you,
Mr.
sir,
Chairman.
I
Mr.
am
Chairman,
neither
we're
of
claiming my
those.
time.
I
You
am
were asked
neither
by
of
Richard
those.
Blumenthal
This is
yesterday.
from the
You were
playbook.
asked. You were asked
Out of
by
the
Richard
Democratic
Blumenthal
Party.
yesterday if Corey was involved in approving contracts. You said no. Do you want to correct that?
What I would say is that he has an advisor to the Department of Homeland Security,
Ooh.
has no
Madam Secretary,
decision-making
do you want to correct it?
authority.
Yes or no? You don't want to correct
no
it? Fine.
decision-making
Not-
authority,
hold
no
on.
role in.
Not a
He's
problem.
advisor, though?
According to one of the FEMA administrators that you fired, there is
What is an
nothing, including
advisor?
contracts, that is brought to you that he hasn't reviewed. In fact, a significant amount of DHS internal routing documents has his signature on it above
What?
deputy secretaries. Okay,
His
that former
signature?
FEMA administrator wasn't fired by you, the secretary. He was fired by Corey. It was Corey that called him into your office. It
Damn,
was
he
Corey that made him
firing
submit to a
people?
polygraph test.
He's a special
$100,000
agent.
spending rule that you created that comes to your desk. You're not even sitting at your desk. It's Corey who's
Special people get to do
I
that.
think the Republicans should be happy at
Corey's
the job
sitting
that
at
you
the
were doing.
desk.
Really? You're looking at the person who single-handedly took the president's signature core issue, immigration, the issue that got him elected from 59% to 39%. 200 miles of border walls being held up by you. They had to bring in Tom Homan, pull out of Minnesota. I think the country needs a national divorce from you on biblical grounds. I mean, if Donald Trump was still apprentice Trump, he would look at you and he would realize you're the weakest cabinet member and he would fire you. And if the president said to you that only way DHS
maybe
can
that was
reopen
the
is if
line
you
that
resigned,
caused
I
it.
hope you would take him up on it. Now, I want to end on a happy note, Mr. Chairman.
A happy note.
You know, the president gave all sorts
Not
of
a
stuff out
happy
during
note.
the State of the Union. I don't want you to leave. I got you a new Coast Guard blankie, the one you lost.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is for you.
Oh.
When you come to judiciary.
Time of the gentleman has
Dang.
expired. The gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
That
Chairman
is
and Secretary, thank you so much.
hilarious.
Right.
He
Right.
got her the blanket that she fired that pilot for.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is hilarious. Nah, he
But
did.
she never answered the question, though. Never did answer the question.
I feel like she answered the question. If you ask me, she answered the question.
A
by
no
not
answer. A
answering
no
the
answer
question.
is a yes.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She said, "I
Well, I
ain't gonna
guess she
say.
could,
I
though.
can't say no. I can't say no."
Yeah, because
'Cause
her
I will
man,
be-
man in the audience and her husband right behind her. I mean, what? I don't know what they want this woman to do.
Say no. I didn't have sex with Lewandowski.
I
That's
did
it.
not have sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky.
It was a lie and he could say it. You mean to
Right.
tell me you can't just say no, I did not have sex with that man? How, I mean, the only way we gonna know,
but they've been in relationship allegedly for a minute though. Ever
but
since.
how will we even figure out if she's lying if she just says no?
Well, she didn't. She couldn't lie.
That's what I'm saying. Why couldn't she just lie about it?
I told you she was stuck in the middle. Now, what you want the woman to do?
He was gonna say, "Oh, so you saying that
If
you
you
ain't
trying to
having
keep, if
sex
you
with
trying to
me
keep
now?"
two, if you trying to keep two people, hell, you stuck in the middle and you just don't know what to do. So she couldn't hurt her husband's feelings, and she sure wasn't gonna hurt Corey's feelings. So I don't know what y'all want her to do.
Yeah, do what
You know,
she
she's
did.
stuck.
Put on
You know,
a horrible performance. She could have
Yeah.
came up with something better than that, though.
Well, you know.
But y'all, whatever she said, whatever the question was that led her to get fired, she is no longer the Secretary of Homeland Security. So let's look at this clip and we'll talk about it.
First up, the breaking news. Kristi Noem now out of a job at the DHS. President Trump firing her from her role as the Homeland Security Secretary. All of this following reports that he was frustrated over how she recently testified on Capitol Hill.
Lawmakers blasted Noem over 2 days of testimony over her handling of ICE operations after the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents in Minneapolis. And the president has already named his choice to replace her.
Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon following the developments in the newsroom. Sonia, what do we know?
Well, Mike, Kristi Noem is out as Homeland Security Secretary, but she's not entirely out of a job. She's getting a new one. And despite reports that the president was unhappy with at least one part of her testimony to Congress this week, he is not indicating that publicly. But Democrats and some Republicans are saying her removal as secretary was well-deserved.
Kristi Noem is gone. Good riddance.
The scrutiny on Capitol Hill of Kristi Noem's performance leading President Trump's immigration crackdown had lawmakers slamming her response to the ICE killings of American citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. There were also questions about her ad campaign, in which she advises undocumented immigrants to self-deport.
You have spent $220 million running television advertisements that feature you prominently.
The president tasked me with getting the message out to the country and to other countries where we were seeing the invasion come from, with putting commercials out that told them that if they were in this country illegally, that they needed to leave. That has been extremely effective.
Ask you to run these advertisements, is that right?
We had that conversation, yes.
Republican Senator Kennedy later said the president called him not pleased with her answer.
When he was mad as a murder hornet.
Murder hornet.
He asked me what I thought about Mark Twain, and I said, A, I like him. B, very smart. C, he's a very good businessman.
Trump posted on social media that Noem has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, and will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere we are announcing on Saturday. In that post, he announced his pick
for Western culture. Is she going to be pushed out the country?
Former Republican Senator
right
Markwayne
to the
Mullin.
edge of the continent.
Democrats are demanding changes to the department, regardless of who's in charge, specifically when it comes to ICE.
She's being
Better vetting and
exiled.
training for officers.
And of course, a requirement that ICE agents who break the law can be criminally investigated by state and local authorities.
Now, Senator Markwayne Mullin will still have to be confirmed before he can take over at DHS, which is currently dealing with a fight over funding, which led to the hold on pre-check at airports. And that was a decision that came from Noem, over which the White House intervened and changed. Mike?
All right. Man. So this was a tough week for Miss Kristi Noem. What you think?
Yeah, she was Miss Badass a couple weeks ago, you know, taking people out in the streets and everything. So now we're going to, I would love to see her face now. And like I said, this is a whole new department that he made up. And he's talking about for Western countries. So is she going to be kind of like a pseudo ambassador or something? You know, like, well, what is this job? Because it's a department that doesn't exist.
Well, it exists now. It's just now starting to exist. And
kind of like Doge.
Yeah.
Okay, a made up department. Okay, I
so
got you.
maybe what he's gonna do
no funding, no funding though.
Maybe what he's gonna do is see how she performs in this little pseudo role. If she can stay her ass out of trouble.
Yeah. Is she gonna bring Corey on for a special employee?
Right.
What would he be, the co-director?
He said, well, you was trying to stay out of my radar. This should get you far enough to be out of my radar, but you better still be on your shit. So I guess he's just gonna give her another chance to prove herself. She on probation. And then she may get promoted to an actual real job again. So we'll see.
I bet she ain't gonna be over no money though.
Well, that's the thing. I still want to see how much this little fake position pay her.
Well, you know, in order for those departments to get money, they have to go through Congress. Congress have to approve funds for them. So we haven't had no hearings. We haven't had no hearings about Congress funding the what's the name of the department? Something security of Western countries or whatever. So Congress haven't had a hearing about that yet, about funding that department.
At this point, they talk about the ambassador of Wakanda. At this point,
hey, reversing high blood pressure. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, reversing high blood pressure.
Right. He don't want her over nothing, so he made up a job for her. And just like he made up Doge and got rid of Elon Musk, I feel like that's the same thing he's gonna do with her.
Yeah.
He's just trying to help her save face, in my opinion.
Well, one thing I know is that he can't have two things that are wildly unpopular going on at the same time, and we all know that this war is wildly unpopular.
Very, very unpopular.
And so, he can't be, sending our troops out to war, and then also having, other troops inside the country terrorizing us too, and expecting that we still gonna want to go fight for the country. Like this, so I think that he had to make a calculated decision on this one. So, but what y'all think? Is this? Are y'all distracted from the Trump Sting files? Like, is this gonna give him the distraction that he was looking for so that he can obfuscate being held accountable?
No, I don't think them files going nowhere. People still talking about those files, so they're not going anywhere. And the Republicans are stupid for having Hillary and Bill Clinton in deposition. Doing a deposition with them, because what that does is keep the files in the forefront.
And it sets a precedent because we have former presidents who went and had to sit down for a deposition. Why can't the current sitting president, be held to the same standard? Is he above the law now, or
well, that precedent has already been set, because when Bill Clinton got impeached, they made him go before Congress. So he definitely, they didn't need to have this deposition to make Trump come and testify, because that's already been set with Bill Clinton. Now, who they need to call is Trump and Melania, because Melania was on that island too, and she in a lot of those pictures. So I got questions. We need to figure out why she was on the island, and what was she doing over there.
I think it did set the precedent for this Epstein trial, though, the Epstein case. I think it definitely said, since we done had to interview somebody whose name wasn't in the files nearly as much as the actual president that's sitting, we need to go ahead and get him to sit down and do a deposition.
Yeah, we need to hear what he got to say. I plead the fifth. That's what he gonna say. So.
Right.
I guarantee you, he's not gonna sit there and struggle and stumble like old Bill tried to answer the questions. To the best of his recollect. And I don't believe a word Bill was saying, but at least he showed up and said something, whether it's true or not.
Hey, he did it, and it was on the record.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what matters.
Well, guys, we can kind of maybe go through these a few. Do you want to take some time to go through the chat a little bit, or
that's up to you?
You ready to call it a night? Well, I don't know if you guys are talking about anything, too important, but let's see. You sound like The View. Well, I'll take that.
Yeah, great.
What do you guys think? Are y'all for the war? Are y'all pro-war? Are y'all not for the war? Do y'all think that this war is a blatant contradiction to what Trump campaigned on, a betrayal to his base? How are y'all feeling right now? MAGA, how do y'all feel now that the gas prices are going up? Now that y'all kids are going to have to be deployed for a war that we're not going to be able to benefit from?
Also, do y'all agree or disagree that Melania and President Trump should come up and do a deposition before Congress?
Also, do you guys agree with the decision for Texas voters to vote Tallarico over Jasmine Crockett into the Senate? Again, I totally think that Jasmine Crockett would have been a better candidate, but Tallarico did have a bigger budget. He is,
he played she was playing checkers. She was playing checkers. He played chess. It is what it is. I love Jasmine Crockett. You know, I would love for her to have been the nominee, but I just, you know, she had to, you know, she should have tightened up a little bit.
Maybe she should have went on Colbert after Tallarico.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
or either Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, if she would have went on Kimmel, she probably would have got the nomination.
Exactly.
You know, but I wonder if
She
her budget was.
She went to all other shows, but she didn't go at the time that the debacle happened. She went way before that.
Yeah.
So go ahead and highlight some of the comments in the chat, and then we can, you know, wrap this up. It's almost, you know, it's 10:30.
All right. I voted for the prosecutor. Everyone needs to be held accountable. Amen.
I agree.
No war. I want peace. That's right.
I agree.
Tyler Perry is a terrible actor, huh?
What Tyler Perry got to do with this?
Okay. Not dying for Israel. I
know that's right.
I agree. Nope. It's to show the world the real enemy, Israel. Okay. I guess they could be the world's real enemy. Nah, she is a terrible
They are,
candidate.
in my opinion, with Benjamin Netanyahu in charge. That guy's corrupt, and he's been corrupt for a long time. So yeah, and he got us in. It's like a bully getting you involved in their fight, in my opinion.
Don't get me wrong. He has pull on both sides. Democrats and Republicans seem like they are beholden to this man, especially with AIPAC. So I think if we don't do nothing else, I think we should get rid of AIPAC.
Yeah, all campaign finance. Get rid of all of it. It's too much money in politics. That's why the American public can't get anything done. We've been stuck in the same spot for the last 30 years because of all the money that's into politics on both sides of the aisle. So
right. They only fight for their donors. Well, guys.
All right, they're not fighting for me and you. They fighting for the rich people, in my opinion. So let's get all of them out of office and get a whole new crew in there.
Hell, at this point, we should put a cap on salaries.
Yeah.
We should make sure that nobody is able to fundraise through big corporations. Like you can't receive donations from big corporations, from just regular people. If they can't just be regular people giving out donations, you don't receive it.
Right. And that way you can work for the American people because you're not beholden to your donors.
Right. You beholden to the people who put money in your pocket, which is the American people. And those are the only people that can put money in your pocket.
That part.
But you know, we could talk about the reforms that need to take place all day, but we can't even get to that until we get past this damn war. So
and the Epstein files.
So y'all pray for America. Y'all pray for all of us and
your family members, yourselves, your children, because that's who's going to fight this war. Okay? Your family is going to fight for this war, not their families. None of the billionaire kids are going to go to this war. None of the president's family is going to go to this war. It's going to be the poor people who's going to stand on the front lines.
Yep. Also, do y'all think Barron should go ahead and, you know, as a symbolic representation of America first, he should go ahead and enlist into the military and take his ass out there to Iran and fight front lines in this war? What y'all think?
I agree. Send him on over there. They sending everybody else, son and daughter over there. They can send them over there.
Well, guys, that's the show.
Bobby James say send him.
That's right. Oh, I'm sorry.
He said yes, send him.
Somebody said Barron a B.
Ooh.
Send that boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send him. Right. They sending everybody else family members. Let him go too. He's right at the good ripe age to go.
That's right.
And I hope and pray that they don't do a draft, because if they do a draft, who they're gonna be drafting?
Hey, if we end up with a draft, that's the end of the Republican Party.
Yeah,
I think they know that. So
they're almost at the end anyway.
yeah, it's almost to the point where shit, they gonna have to figure out a way to scam and plot to stay in, in power. So,
But I think when we get ready to vote in the midterms, though, guys, I think everybody should do their homework, find out who's funneling money from AIPAC, because AIPAC is part of Israel, and I think we need to get everybody out of office that get money from AIPAC. That's just my opinion.
I agree. Democratic and Republican, get them out. Well, guys, we had fun with you all. I hope y'all had a little fun. If y'all did, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. We definitely are going to stay looking at the news, stay talking about it, stay bringing it to you guys. And we also want to keep hearing you guys' opinions, even if you're opposing. Subscribe to the channel. That way you can come on and you can oppose us when we do come on and bring the facts. All right. Again, thank y'all so much. Hit the like button. We appreciate all of the support. Did you have any final words?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. And like he said, yes, I like the opposition view, because I like to hear what the other side is thinking, and and how you think and what you're saying. And even when you put insults in here, please know that do not bother us one iota. We don't care about your insults.
Not at all.
But if you put something in there factual, then yeah, we definitely would take that into consideration. And yeah, we may vote a certain way, but we're also about what's right. Okay. And like I said, if you funneling money from AIPAC, then I'm not voting for you. Do your homework, do your research.
And the funny thing about it is they talk about voting Democratic, and black people probably just are going to vote Democrat because they're black. Well, I think that's exactly why a lot of Republicans vote Republican. And let's just be real. The amount of disrespect that Trump has showed his base with with the decisions that he's made within this last year, we're not even 4 years in. The fact that he really shows y'all that he could give two shits about y'all, and y'all will still vote for him, says more about y'all than you talking about Democrats who, again, allow for critical thinking. You don't, just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean that you have to be beholden to every Democrat and you have to follow every talking point that the Democrat says. That's one of the great things about being a Democrat. There's a spectrum. But for right now, it looks like the only type of Republican that, is relevant, has any pull is the MAGA Republican. That it seems like MAGA is what defines the Republican Party right now. So
exactly.
I don't know how you square that with calling us crazy.
Yeah, they won't even allow them to think for themselves. They just fall in line. They don't have any type of thought process or critical thinking, or whatever Trump does is fine, even though he promised them everything under the sun. But every promise that he's made, nothing has been kept, in my opinion.
Promises made, promises
not kept.
Not kept. And on that, guys, we bid y'all good night.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filter shit, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on, we talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, minion the God. let's go. Foxy 2 Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard. Lizzie with the facts, she never miss. Nah. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, yeah. Come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. Nah. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. Don't spin no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. Never. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise.